Hello, lovely.
Now I've got my speaker, it were on delay.
It's okay.
That's
Don't
why
worry.
I thought she's talking to me, she's going to think I'm ignoring her.
It's okay. We always know about those darn glitches, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Where are you
How are you?
off to?
I've just been shopping to get some with Max. Just got Costa, so I'm just going to sit in car park for a bit. And chat
Awesome.
to you.
Hey,
Chat to you.
Maxie.
Hi. You okay?
I'm great.
Good, good.
You doing okay?
Okay.
As okay as she can be.
I know it's a mess. Hopefully, it's going to be cleared up soon.
You know, so it's doing my head in. Doing my head in.
It's just plain annoying, right?
Yeah, more than fucking annoying. I want to swing for some fucker. That's what it is.
I hear you.
Got my thingies.
Were you able
No,
to sleep last night?
Yes, you did.
on and off. I woke up about. Well, I slept through when you phoned, and that cheese onion, please. And then I woke up and I saw you were in a space, and that's when I come in to say hello. Yeah, I told them to tell you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you could understand why.
I understood. I understood. But if you looked at the chart when it was playing, you would know who it would have been.
Okay, quiet.
I know. I know. I know.
We definitely don't want to have that get out.
No.
Good morning, you guys. What are you
Hey,
doing?
hey, Katie.
Hi,
Just
Katie.
thought we would chat this
Hello.
morning. What are you doing?
Well, my husband just took our son to school, and so it's 7:49 a.m. here. So I just made some coffee.
Yay. What
How?
grade's your son in?
He is in third grade, but he's going to be 9 tomorrow. So
How fun. What a great age.
I know it's kind of
Happy birthday.
crazy.
Happy birthday to your son for tomorrow.
Sorry. Oh, say that again.
Happy birthday to your son for tomorrow.
Oh, you're breaking
She
up.
said, Happy birthday to your son tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my internet is just kind of sketchy out here. Well, thank you very much. We got a whole day of you know cupcakes and stuff like that. Special lunch and fun things that little 8-year-old boys like to do.
Oh,
There's
how
only a few of
fun.
these left, so
Yeah, enjoy every minute because the next thing you know, they're 40 and you're going, wait a minute, I'm only 29, so how can my kid be 40?
I know. I mean, that's kind of like the crazy thing. It's like you have to really stop and appreciate these moments because you literally have, a handful of them left, and it's like, really kind of a sobering thought,
It
like
really is.
yeah.
It
And
really is. And you just don't realize the years as they fly by. And the thing that like regrounds you to that is when they like bring up an anniversary of something, on a
mm,
media report. Today is the 20th anniversary of this. You're like, wait, 20? Wasn't that just like
yeah.
4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so bizarre. So
Yeah.
bizarre.
I know. And like I look and then like I see there's like kids in his class with moms that are still having babies right now,
Oh
like
yeah.
two kids in his class have newborn baby siblings, And so he's always like, I want a sibling. I want a little brother or sister or something. And I'm like, yeah, we're kind of past that ship by now. I'm in
Just
my
enjoy your
40s.
dog.
I'm in my 40s now. This is a little.
Yeah, like I used to say, we're not going back there. Sorry.
I mean, it's not impossible, but it's definitely not in the playbook for 2024 or 25 at least.
It's not on your top list of things to do right now. I can't imagine why.
No.
Why not?
All right, I got to ask you guys a question. This is
Go
kind of
right
like
ahead.
off topic, but I feel like one of you is going to know what to do.
Oh, Lord.
Very off topic.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead. We're here for
So
you.
we just moved into a new house, and not new, like we're renting, and we're sampling out the neighborhood to see if we like it because it's
Sure.
close to my office, it's close to the school. My son's in private school, so it's we don't have to live like on top of it. We can. But anyway, we're equidistant now. We're like 3 miles to the school, 3 miles to my office. And the backyard is like this very non-traditional backyard. Like I think the people who lived here were like partiers or something because they totally outfitted the backyard with astroturf and decks, with like wooden deck. Okay, so like I want to say 80% of the backyard is covered in this like homemade wooden deck
Oh,
that
so it's like multi-layered
it's
decking.
definitely multi-layer
Yeah, I
and
got it.
definitely like you can see where let's put an addition on this corner, let's do this and then you see like all like the bottle caps, like all in the little nooks and crannies and all this. Well, I thought it was charming, and I still do think it's charming, and I like it because it minimizes the amount of grass and, weed whacking that
Right.
I have to yell at my husband to do. So that's less trauma. Um, but dude, like, there's fucking rats in the
Oh,
decks.
yeah.
In the decks. They're rats. They're big fucking rats.
Yeah, I'm getting rat poisoning today.
And I'm like, how serious of a problem is this? Because like I can be sitting because the whole back of the house is all sliding glass doors. It's like,
Yeah.
so you can see the whole backyard. That's why I think they built it for party because it's an L shape, and then the whole entire L shape is comprised of three big sliding glass doors. So it's like you can open them all up and it's just like really cool. But it's only like 6 feet from my door, like the back sliding door, and they're just like hanging out like on the deck eating the leaves, and my cats are like going nuts, and I just don't know what to do because it's clear that there's a lot of them in there because these guys are big,
Right.
and I just don't know what's going to happen like when the temperature goes down. Like I'm in Texas, so we'll get like it'll be chilly, quote unquote, like January and then a little bit of February. I mean, it can still get pretty cold, but I'm worried that when it gets really cold that they're going to like try to come in here. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. That is one creature I don't mess around with and I take the most aggressive steps with.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, I've been living in my home since 1987,
Okay.
and I've had one mouse, and I mean littler than my pinky finger, that got in to my home about a month ago. And I was
Oh,
ready to move into a hotel for until it's gone. Like I do, that is like a deal breaker for me. And we caught it within, I don't know, 24 hours maybe.
you did get it. How'd you get it?
I just put out like 6 traps.
Oh, you did. Okay. So
And
like,
I did,
yeah,
first I did the sticky traps,
yeah,
and that didn't get it fast enough for me. So we put out the old fashioned ones,
yeah.
and they are gone, and it is gone. I mean, it
Okay.
literally probably 2 hours after putting an old fashioned trap. But what I would say to you is a couple of things. They're dirty.
Yeah.
They are going to try to get in for the winter.
Yeah.
They're going to nest and make more.
Fuck.
So if you don't get rid of them, and they just don't multiply by one baby, they have multiple
Oh, of course, they
babies.
have like 17 at a time, right?
Right. So you really want to get aggressive. And quite
Yeah.
honestly, I would do the poison pellets that they eat and then they just die.
So that's what my friend Jim, he's a really good friend of mine. He's almost like a father to me. He's 72. He's got three daughters, all older than me. And he lives close to me. And I texted him, I sent him a picture. I'm like, how serious of a problem is this, And he took a picture of a black box that is mounted on all along his fence lines in his backyard. And he said,
Right.
this is what there's no brand name, there's no writing on it. And it looks like it's just like a little saddlebag
I know
plastic.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering, but does that kill the squirrels too? I don't want to
Okay,
kill
so
anything else.
here's the thing right now. Here's the thing right now is you have to think about the humans involved first.
Hmm.
And yes, there could be collateral damage, and you just have to realize that's just part of the process
Well, fuck.
until you get them under control.
Yeah.
And it's more important you get them under control than saving a squirrel. And that's being
Yeah.
blunt, but it's just the way it is. You
Well,
have
yeah,
a young son
I know.
that you cannot afford to want to go out and play in his own backyard
Yeah.
and God forbid get spit, because
Well,
now
and yeah,
it's
and
a whole different issue, because now
well,
rabies shots, and I mean it's
totally.
just not worth it. You know what
Well,
I mean? Like,
and yeah, and here's the other really big issue is that this deck, I mean, there's loose boards, right? So it's
right,
like I'm not like I'm not like inviting a bunch of people over here right now to be on this deck because there's definitely some boards that like your foot could just go straight through it.
right,
And
right,
like,
right.
what if it goes straight through into a fucking nest or
Yeah.
something and somebody gets bitten? Like, I remember because I grew up in New Jersey, and so I remember like right on the coastline. And so we would get where I was, we had a river behind us, and
Right,
then there was one strip of houses and a street, and then the seawall on the ocean in Atlanta on Atlantic Ocean.
right.
And when the hurricanes would come and the water levels, both water levels on either side would rise up and then just cover the land. And so, like, I used to take my dog, my Airedale Terrier, out to the docks by the river, and you could see, I would look in down in the docks and I could see all the muskrats.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I could see their eyes looking up
Yeah.
at me through, and
I'm
I was
out.
like I was like so like, naive, like, oh, it's the muskrats, dude. These
Oh,
things are like 3 foot fucking long, they're
yikes.
they're fucking beavers.
Yeah.
So I don't,
I'm just going to say to you, be aggressive until you get rid of them, and then you
yeah.
could go to the little black box effect, okay, to
Okay.
maintain that.
Yeah.
And I also say to you, if your cats are cats that will hang around the backyard, after you get them under control, I would also let my cats be like the maintainers of my backyard,
I
because they're going
mean,
to catch every last one of them. I wouldn't do it now because the population of your mice is probably just too much, and
yeah.
you don't want them to bring you trophies every night. Two or
Well,
three
they're
trophy mice
huge.
every night. You know
But
what I
that's the
mean?
thing, like, I don't my cats are not outdoor cats, first of
Okay.
all, and but there are outdoor cats because we've seen them come into our yard, and I think they know that they're there, and that's why they come into our yard. But
Right.
here's the problem, you guys. I wonder if these rats are just too damn big for these cats, and they don't even wanna mess with them because they are I don't even know if I have your number, Sherry. I'll text you a photo of how big these guys are. They're
Oh, I get it.
big,
I get it.
and I don't
Trust me, I
know
don't
if
need nightmares. Save your pictures,
yeah.
because honestly, because that is one thing I'm like, okay, deal breaker. That
Yeah.
and snakes are deal breakers for me. Like, I will
Yeah.
literally, we had a snake in our backyards 20 years ago, and I still won't walk in that part of my backyard. I mean, it just,
Oh.
it just is the
Yeah.
way it is. But I
Yeah.
just would honestly, I would go to uh, the store today and pick up some of the poison pellets that they eat, and
Shit.
they just go off to die, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, And I would start there. And then once
Yeah.
you get them under control, those black boxes are definitely, a
Yeah.
great way to maintain.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you definitely want to get that under control as soon as possible.
I wonder too, like, and I guess like, is it my responsibility or is it the management of the house, like the owners, whatever? I don't even know.
Well, it would be their responsibility, but obviously they're not taking care of it because they wouldn't be there already. And
Yeah.
we can argue the fact, well, maybe they just didn't know, nobody reported it, or they have been reported and they've done nothing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more important to get rid of the problem
Yeah.
than it is to argue with them about the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there's one of the sliding glass doors that like it doesn't close the best. Like it closes, but like when we got here, there was like a little gap in between and we got it closed, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like thinking that like that damn door's not closed and then a fucking rat is gonna come inside, like that's
And and let me tell you, it doesn't take much for them to get in.
to get in. Yeah, they
It just
squeeze. Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, a lot of times they get in when you're carrying groceries in. They just walk right
Yeah.
in with you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so the fact that they're there, you can rest assured at some point, if you don't get rid of them, they're going to get in.
Oh my
It's just, it's
gosh.
just how it works. I mean, they're smart
Yeah.
and, they just time it right and the door opens and closes quickly. But before you know it, they're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly,
Ugh.
yeah,
Ugh.
I'm telling you right now,
Ugh.
I would be spreading 10 pounds of those pellets today.
Yeah, maybe I'll
And
go to like the feed store or something. I'll find like a feed store around here and see if I can like get,
read the packages, of course,
yeah,
and see what the each one offers or doesn't offer. But I definitely would be really aggressive. Um, to just get it nipped in the bud
get
before
it
they start
done.
mating and multiplying, and then you're going to have just a shit show on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's just a ton of them under there because the one that I saw yesterday, there were two, and one was clearly bigger than the other. So it's like, okay, well, there's babies.
Yeah, yeah, and you really don't want to get in that cycle. I mean,
No,
it would really not be good. And let's face it, you want to be able to enjoy your yard as well. I mean, there's so much wrong with the situation, but
I know.
right now, safety for your child and
Yeah. And we
um,
were so excited because, like, where we were living before, um, y'all are gonna think I'm a little nuts. We were living before, there was a family of squirrels in our yard,
right.
and they were really cute and really smart. Like they would start coming up to the back door and waiting for saltines,
Oh yeah.
and they're super smart. And so like we were so excited, like, oh, we're gonna have this new backyard that has so many trees and this, and we can, have more squirrels. And I can't believe I'm watching a fucking family of rats.
Yeah, that's so
Dang,
unfortunate.
you know?
But the good news is it's easily cured, right? So within a week you could have that
Yeah,
nonsense
Sherry, it's
done.
it's easily cured with massive death. That's your that's our solution here.
Honestly, I think a bag of those pellets is probably less than $20.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, and you just spread them out, and
yeah. I
my
probably
my
put them like,
husband would say, my husband would say, if he was your neighbor, I'll just come over with the BB gun. This will
hmm.
be good BB gun
Oh yeah,
practice.
I'm sure some of my neighbors. I mean, this is Houston, so we're open carry in Houston. I don't
Yeah,
know if y'all are open carry
we are.
in Georgia. Yeah. So it's, yeah, you walk into the McDonald's and
Right
you walk
on.
into the grocery store and people are carrying. So yeah, there's no lack of happy carriers here.
Yeah.
Most people I know have, like, here in Houston, they've actually, and wouldn't even know it until you started talking to them, but a lot of people here have started like collections, and they have like whole rooms and stuff where they keep all that stuff.
I'm laughing because obviously you've never heard my story about my adventures with pews.
No, tell me.
Up until June of 2020, not only had I never touched one before in my life, but they were never allowed in my home. I
Interesting.
just never wanted to live in a world where I needed one. And I believe in, if somebody believes in gun control, isn't the best gun control not having one? And, so yeah, never touched one until then.
Yeah,
And then by the time December came of that year, not only had I touched one, but I took safety classes, of
that's
which
good.
I cried in.
Aw,
And I cried the first time I went to the range
aw.
with that safety class because I just don't want to live in a world where I need to have one or feel I need to have one. And my boys really wanted me to carry because I travel for poker so much and I'm
Yeah.
traveling so alone all the time. And so for like 4 or 5 years before that, they were trying to convince me, and some things happened. I was like, okay, maybe the time is now. So anyway, so I went from not touching one to taking a class. You know, 2 hours later, I finally got all 6 rounds out of the chamber. It took me 2 hours at the range to do that, but I finally did it. Um, then I entered the very next week. I entered a contest, a drawing to win a pig. What was it? A Sig P210 with
Hmm.
walnut handle,
Oh,
and I won. And I won it,
fancy.
which is hilarious because you actually had to pick the number of the spot you wanted, and I
Hmm.
actually picked the number,
Your
the
sons
winning
were probably
number.
happy.
Oh my god, you just don't even know. Um, then by December of that year, I had to join the gun club so that I could receive delivery on the 21 pews I won through drawings,
Wow.
including 2 ARs,
Oh my God.
a night scope, a cannon, if you know what that is.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, and of course I've gotten rid of well, probably all, but I think I have 3 left, 4 left.
Oh my
But
God.
anyway, so yeah, that was my journey. And of course, I like to write goofy stuff. So I took everyone on my journey on my Facebook page with the stories of, you know, a month ago I never touched one. And here I am, I'm joining a gun club today so I could take delivery on 3 that I won.
Yeah.
Like was the most absurd, insane, like 5 months. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm probably ready though to do it. Like I think I'm ready to go learn like you did and just to know.
Right. And I say this to you. I went to get my conceal and carry because there was a lot of talk about them changing the rules, the regs, the laws, right? When
Hmm. Hmm.
Biden got in office.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'll ever carry one. And I haven't till today. And this is, 4 years later. Um, but if I wanted to, probably now's the time to get it before they change all the laws and it'll just be some contrived crap I have to go through to accomplish the same thing.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I just highly recommend going to a class. Do not let anyone talk you into, oh, you don't need to go to a class. Just come to the range and I'll show you how.
Yeah. No.
Unless they're a certified trainer, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I've been at the range several times and that's happening and I leave because there's so many safety issues with that for me. And the new person is nervous and so they don't know about making sure you keep it pointed down the range at all times, and so the gun is kind of moving around, not carelessly but not carefully either. And so I just say to you, take a class. It's worth the $50 or $100. I can't remember how much it costed me, um, because they're professional and they are very thorough with
Yeah.
how they teach you and what to expect and not expect. And, in my case, they were very patient. They, every time I would start to cry, the poor instructor, he must have went home and said, "Oh, you should have seen this lady." But he was so sweet. He was like, "Sherry, I get it. Um, it still brings tears to me."
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
truthfully,
I like to think about like I have actually shot a shotgun into a pile of like a big pile of like tree rubbish
right,
before.
right,
Like my friend I was on where I when I used to have horses in Dallas, where I went to college and lived for a long time, and then um, my horses lived up in Aubrey, which is like horse country, and they have a whole farm, and so it was like my best friend's husband. One day I was like, "All right, here's a shotgun," and I was very nervous. I was
right,
very like because you hold something like that in your hands that you like you said, you never imagine that you would or would need to. And so it's like even just like not even shooting it, but just like holding it
right,
was just like a
right.
really big like emotional feeling like, oh my God, like
Let
this
me
is
tell you, I was hyperventilating. Like
yeah.
I was when we went down to the range, after the class, of course, end of the class, you go to the range and put to use what you just learned, right? And I promise you, when I went up to that lot, I was hyperventilating so badly.
Yeah.
And my by that time my sons had come back to check on me. So they were in the range with me. And my oldest came and he goes, "You need to go sit down." I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
Like it was just not only was it scary, but I truly in my heart just did not want to I just didn't want to know this. Like I
Yeah.
didn't. I don't want it a part of my world. And
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a world that it is a part of my world. Like I've lived 60 years without that shit. Like why
Yeah.
now? But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, you need to have the knowledge base. You
Yeah.
just need to have the knowledge base because you just never know what situation you're going to find yourself in. And God forbid there's a gun involved, you need to know how to operate it. That's all I'm just going to say to everybody.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't need to buy one. You don't need to,
yeah.
whatever, but just know how to operate it and know how to operate one safely is all I would say.
Yeah. And especially like if you're like us where you are in a state that is open carry, it's I think it's different when you're in states that's not open carry,
Right.
but
Right.
I mean, but now, like, anybody can get it, so it's much more widespread. So what you're
And
saying is all the more true because of that.
well, and I'm not worried about the ones that are open carrying because those are typically the people that are not going to be the ones to bother me with their gun. I'm worried
Yeah,
about the ones that, have a hood on and they have it tucked inside their hoodie pocket because they
yeah.
think they're cool.
Oh, I know.
Um, you
And you
know,
never know. Like that's the thing. It's like we live in Houston, and Houston is a really big city. I mean, this is the third largest city in the U.S.
right,
and it's like New York, like, and then Houston.
right.
Like, and I don't think a lot of people realize I mean you can drive, Sherry, for an hour going 65 miles an hour straight shot for a solid hour and you're still in the fucking city limits of Houston. Like it is a massive city, and it is also the most internationally diverse city in the country. So I don't know if you know that, but we took over New York
Wow. And
as
even
being
Chicago, huh?
and Chicago. Oh yeah, no, we took over the number
Wow.
3 spot from Chicago. So so Chicago's number 4 now, but
Wow.
we have more international cultures, and also cuisines, food, and you know why I know that.
Of
Um
course. You're the queen of food in Houston. Let's go.
but we truly do. And so, you know, I think it's wonderful. I love it, right? Because I love going to a park and sitting in the park and hearing 5 or 6 languages around me. I personally
Well,
love
see,
it.
and I'm going to tell you, Katie, that's how I grew up in Chicago. You
Yeah.
had an Italian block,
Yep.
a Latino block, a Polish block, a German block. I mean, that's how we grew up. We
Yep.
grew up as an international city.
Yeah. And I think it's just great for the kids, because like my son,
Sure.
he is just completely like he doesn't know that like everything has just been positive for him, like he's like he goes to like Saturday French school, and he does Spanish in school. They started in
Right.
kindergarten, and there's he loves it, he has like so many, different kinds of foods that he's introduced to from, kids from Japan in his school, or from, Uruguay, or and he's so interested in it, and I love it. But there's people that don't love it, and and
Well,
so it's
change never comes easy, right?
yeah,
Change never comes easy. And, there's also the downside of that. And thank God the good outweighs the downside, right?
yeah, yeah,
And, sometimes, people always say to me, well, you're only looking at the good things. Well, no, I look at it all. I just choose to focus on the good things,
yeah,
right? And why? Because that is going to, in my eyes, is going to make it more, how do you say, it? A more positive experience.
hmm,
And if we focus on the negative only, what is our experience going to be? Only negative.
yeah,
And, it's okay that we don't like everything, but we have to acknowledge that there's good and bad. And
sure,
it's okay to stay focused on the good. Like
yeah.
it really is.
And the good, in my opinion, for a melting pot like Houston, is like one of the really big goods is like all like the food fusion. Like that's
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
big things that Houston, and we just got Michelin designation, so they're announcing next month Texas's first Michelin star rated restaurants, which is really cool. So like the rest of the world is waking up to what's going on in the culinary scene in Houston, but the
Love
result
it.
of being, the most international city in America at this point is the food. Like all like
Right.
everything, it's like Mexican, like somebody wants to merge Mexican and Pakistan, like Mexo-Paki food,
Right.
or Afro, Caribbean Mex, like Afro Mex, like that's a
Right.
new fusion that I know a chef has come up with. And it's like nowhere in the world are you seeing these kinds of fusions, but that's what's happening here in
I
Houston.
love that.
And
Katie,
I
they said
love it.
Houston. They said Houston is literally the only state in the United States where every single minority gets along, where every single one of them work together for like a commonality. And it's crazy too, like you said, Houston's also the third biggest city. It's a metropolis. Of course, they're gonna have bomb ass restaurants now. There's way too much money down there for them not to,
I love it. Let me tell
Yeah.
you a little Michelin star story that I think you'll appreciate, Katie.
Yeah.
Okay, so my son's birthday was in September and I was traveling. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, and
Aw, happy birthday.
well, thank you. And we were going to just try to go to, somewhere in Atlanta to dinner. And so last week, I'm like, oh, let me look up the Michelin star restaurants. And see, maybe we could just do one of those. And so I think there were four of them. So I started reading off the menus. And at the end of me reading them, now he has a shellfish allergy. So a
Mm,
lot of the Michelin menus have lobster or,
mhm.
seafood. So that just puts a damper on it for us. But at the end of every time I read the menu, he would say, looks like we're going to McDonald's, Mom. So we couldn't go to the Michelin star restaurants, but I'll have to go without him because I'm not allergic to shellfish. But anyway,
Well, you need to come to Houston,
hell
seriously.
yeah,
You really need to come to Houston just selfishly so that we can hang out, number 1, but number 2, I mean, just for the food. Like if you wanna just, like, come on a food vacation, dude, just
I'm
get
there.
get on a Southwest Airlines flight for $49 and
I'm
get over
there.
here. Seriously, you can stay with me. I have plenty of room.
Well, thank you. I have a cousin there too. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the spring because I have several friends in Houston, and I promised them last year I was coming back, and that didn't happen because life got in the way. But no, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to in 2025. So I will take you up on that
Yeah.
hanging out offer for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you have one more reason now to come too.
Hell yeah.
'Cause yeah, yeah, for sure. And that
Oh
would be
yeah.
so fun.
It would be amazing. I
And
would
we have
love
good
that.
poker here in Houston
Oh,
too.
I know.
There's a lot of poker. I mean, it literally, like, this is the crazy thing. Like, when my mom got sick in the summer of 19, and you remember I was still in Vegas for the World
Right,
Series, and then I think I told you this too. Like, I came back and she was like, you have to come, and you have to come get me and take me to the hospital.
right.
And that's how I found out that my mom was sick, is her calling me in Vegas while my husband was still in the Maine at the time. And my son and I had to get on a Southwest flight the next morning, leaving him in Vegas. Anyway, long story. But like, I get into the hospital with her the very next day, and what the fuck do I see across the street from the fifth floor? I'm overlooking the highway. And across the street, I see a shopping center with like a grocery store, a weight
Was
loss
it
clinic.
Texas Card
It
House?
was a fucking poker room. And this is July of 2019. I'm like, bro, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, there's a fucking grocery store and like a mailbox place and like an
Oh,
Xfinity store and then a poker room. Like, what? Because I didn't know that there was like this poker boom that had like just started. And
right.
it was like the perfect timing, because it's just totally like wild, wild west, like unregulation. So then when everybody started shutting down in March and April of 2020, everything went the opposite direction here. They all started opening,
Yep.
and because nothing closed here, and everybody started moving to Texas. So like, we still have a bunch of like fucking like parks regs and shit
Well,
that,
and the dealers, the staffs, they had to move somewhere that the doors were open. A lot
yeah,
of them moved to Florida too, Texas.
yep,
I went to Austin in the spring of 2021 to the lodge, and they
yep,
only had the folks from the radio show that I was co-hosting on. They invited us to come to the lodge, and so we did. And they had like 700 or 800 followers on their YouTube channel, and our goal that weekend was to get them more followers
mhm,
and some subscribers. And I think we got them up to like 1,200 that weekend, and they were so excited. Like, it was
yeah.
like, bring out the band, because we got them over 1,000. And we just had a blast. But it was right after they suffered that huge snowstorm.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was
So
February of like 21, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. And so there were still things going on in Austin because of the tidal wave of that snowstorm. But I'm going to tell you, when we were there, we were like, they have this figured out. Like, they have this figured out. If this doesn't catch on in a big way, we would be surprised. Like, that was the buzz around, and not just us as a small group, but just at the lodge in general, because
yep,
people were like, they stayed open. There's
yep.
dealers are moving down here, staff members are moving here because they need jobs, and people are coming to play. And yeah, it was
Well,
crazy.
and here's the other thing too. I don't play that much, in these rooms. I mean, very, very rarely. I just don't play very much anymore outside of the World Series. And then,
Right,
like, when champions will have some big events and stuff, I'll do that. But here's the thing that I noticed, and maybe it's because, I played live for so long in Atlantic City, and which is arguably, the least friendly,
right.
poker city to be playing in card rooms, in casinos. But live poker in Texas is a very different animal. Like, not only
Oh my god,
is the
yes.
game, I'm not going to make any comments about the game. It is Texas poker.
When you
It
say
is
wild wild west, it applies to the way poker is played in
right.
Texas.
But here's the other side of it that's really surprising, and I haven't, Sherry, I haven't done a good enough job about being loud about this, because I know how to be loud, but maybe I need to be a little bit more forthcoming with this. It is a very pleasant
Oh my
experience.
gosh, yes.
It
Oh
is, and,
yes.
and and there is nowhere in the world that I can say that I have had this kind of experience. Everybody is so nice. And
100%.
like, there's way more women in these games, but it doesn't matter, because like, the men are the ones that typically would be the majority, in all of the other cities and stuff. But the men are very nice, and
Yep.
the women are very nice.
Yep.
And I really, really think, Sherry, that it is just a cultural difference, right? Like, um,
100%.
Southern hospitality, like this is a very,
100%.
very much like hospitality driven climate. I mean, Texas, up to 15% of the state's workforce in Texas is in the hospitality industry. Restaurants,
Right.
hotels,
Right.
catering, fast food, and that kind of lends, and that coupled with the good old fashioned Southern hospitality. I mean, it's just a very different culture. Like, I don't enjoy going out to eat anymore in New Jersey when we go visit, because it's not a very pleasant experience,
Because
because
attitude, you're met
it's
with attitude.
exactly,
And
and
in the South, you're met with gratitude. And there is a
exactly,
difference.
and
And you
and
know,
yeah,
when I went to the lodge, I'm going to tell you, it was the first place that I wrote a public um, review about, because I was so impressed by their hospitality.
yep,
Everybody was bought into what they're doing at the lodge. Like,
yep.
everybody was supporting the goals, um the methods of operation. And now this is a customer observing this. Now behind the scenes, they may have hated everybody, may have hated everyone, but the customer never saw anything but pleasantries, a staff that was working hard as a team. Yeah, it was very impressive. The
Well,
only the only public review I've ever written on a public site about a poker room was that room.
yeah, and I think too, like, the other side of it is, and I mentioned this in my talk this summer at the Poker Go Studios during the TDA summit.
Right?
Um, but like, because of that culture of hospitality that exists and extends beyond service industry here in Houston, the poker rooms here, like Champions in Houston, and I saw the lodge recently, they're hiring really high powered restaurant people to complete the overall experience. So, like,
I love the whole concept at Champions, that the hotel is connected,
yep,
that they're getting good food service connected to it. Like,
yep.
great concepts
But
being
they're
realized.
really like leaning into it like really hard.
Yeah, I
Like
love it.
the guy they hired in Houston, he was like 5-star like hotel, 4-star, 5-star hotel,
Yep.
like, management guy, like all over the world. And then even I saw Doug at the lodge, like they hired some like well-known restaurateur to whatever. And dude, like, that's the fucking key. Like, that is how that will lead to another boom in poker, because poker for most people is not about poker. It's about the experience. And it's the literal same strategy in restaurants. Like, it is totally become in restaurants these days, like 50% of the reason that somebody will go back is either because of the food or the experience, right? Like, you can go into a restaurant and have really shitty food, but have a really amazing experience. And a lot of the times you're going to go back. Whereas if you have really, shitty experience, but really good food, most of the time you're not going back, right?
Well, and let's not forget, those rooms are trying to get the traveler to come. And so you have to make it
Yes.
a journey and an experience once I arrive there. And
Hmm.
so, the best way to do it is to make sure I'm well fed,
Yep.
having a good time at the table and surrounded by people that want me there.
And that you're
Not,
comfortable and that you feel
yeah,
good, right? Like, butts
yeah.
in seats is literally the same strategy for poker rooms and tour operators and restaurants. And like, how do you do that? Like, just follow the lead of one of the biggest industries in the world. Like, see what they're doing, and apply it
Love that.
to what poker is doing. So there's some smart guys out there, smart guys and gals who are because like Champions, they took a bunch of the WSOP people, like Brian, April, like they live in Houston now. They're
I
not,
know. That
yeah,
was a good pickup. I'm going to tell you, the fact they brought that couple in, that was a great hire. Great
yeah,
hires for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
I look forward. I haven't played at Champions yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And I've promised people I'm coming, so I got to make it happen
Their
for sure.
chairs, I want to say, I've never seen. I want you to guess. they're poker chairs, like the chairs that are at the table. I want
Right.
you to guess, how much do you think those chairs cost individually? I know you haven't seen them and you have no like context, but just like throw out a number that you think that like a poker room would logistically invest in the cost of their chairs. Like what would you think would
Okay,
be?
now I'm going to say that we had a poker room here in Georgia called Little Kings and Queens, and they bought these amazing chairs. And so I'm going to say, and I think they spent $1,000 on a chair per chair. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say $1,000.
Yeah, these are
Same.
12
That was
these
my guess. Yeah,
yeah,
that
these are like 1200 a piece, these chairs.
Nice.
Yeah. They are like, very, very, very nice chairs, and they're heavy and they're not flimsy and they're wide seat and they are comfortable and they're adjustable. And I mean, it's like any nice, like, Herman Miller office chair that you would, buy for your home.
Well, and that's, those touches are the touches that are going to bring people back on a repeated basis,
Oh,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Especially for us travelers. Like, am I going to go to a poker room that I'm uncomfortable in, that I have to DoorDash food to, or, whatever to make myself comfortable? Or am I going to go to a room that I can sit in this big, comfy chair
Yeah.
and they're going to have this amazing food brought to me or right around the corner from me, 10 steps away, whatever,
Yeah.
and service is going to be great. You know where I'm
I'm gonna
going.
make a prediction here, okay? And I want
Yes.
you to hold me to it.
All right.
I'm gonna predict that in the next few years, poker in Texas is gonna keep growing, duh. But I'm gonna make a really specific prediction. I'm gonna predict that there are gonna be more women that start playing the game and have started in Texas. And there's no way to track that. But where the prediction comes in is there's going to be more women winners coming out of Texas than any other state. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. We'll talk in another couple years and
Well,
see
and I'm
how.
going to tell you that I think that's already true.
Yeah.
I really do because there were some pioneers in Texas, making sure that there were a lot of ladies' events taking place over the last 4, 5, 6, 10 years, and as well as lady leagues. So I think that's already probably a true um,
Yeah.
statistic,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to continue too. I think it's going to,
I
because,
believe you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, tell us, how did your restaurant festival go this year?
Oh, it was good. What we ended up doing is for the third time in the 21-year history, we actually extended it through the whole month of September too,
Awesome.
at a ridiculously reduced donation, because August is the biggest fundraiser for the Houston Food Bank, which is the largest food bank in the world. And then in September, we continued it, but we reduced the donations substantially to help the restaurants because they've had we had a couple really bad storms here in, I'm not sure if you remember May and July,
Yep.
like
Yep.
tornadoes and flooding and stuff. And as much as I love Houston and as much as I love Texas, and I think it's just the greatest place in the world to live, it's got some holes, and those holes come into play when we do have a flooding issue, which I know you think is probably like, what do you mean? It's Texas. How do you have a flooding issue? And we do have we have some issues with our electrical system, like our electrical grid
Oh,
for
I
the whole
know because I
state.
was there after that snowstorm.
Yeah. So it's not like super ideal when bad weather hits us because we
Right.
don't recover. We're not as good as like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, where like, you could have the biggest storm coming in a century, and those salt guys in those trucks, man, they're out there at 2:37 a.m. Like, we don't give a fuck, like we're
And
and
those power stations running that electrical boxes
yeah.
are, yeah, they're making
Yeah.
sure, you don't need the wind to get those
Yeah.
electrical plants working.
Exactly. So we are not equipped to
Right.
handle big weather issues, and unfortunately we get them and we are going to see them more often. So two storms that happened here would not have been an issue anywhere else, but for us it was. And so what it did is it just kept the restaurants out of business for weeks instead of a few days, because they
Right.
couldn't get their power turned back on, or they couldn't get a part, or they couldn't, and that's unique to Texas, unfortunately. So it was so we're just actually a few weeks out from the event finishing, and so now we're in just mostly, bill collection mode at this point, getting the numbers and collecting, and getting the money out to the food bank. So that's I usually wait until the end of October so that I can write, because it'll be a couple $1,000,000 by the time it's all said and
Sure.
done. But I usually wait until the end of October so that I can selfishly write a seven-figure check, like, and sign it, just for the shits and giggles.
Hell
Um,
yes.
and like, where you have to actually like count the number of zeros that you're writing from. But this year we had gotten to like 450K really fast, like within the first few weeks after the event. And so I just, like I said to the food bank, I'm like, I know y'all don't expect this money or some of this money until the end of the month, but we got a lot in right now. I'll just wire it right now. And people were, I mean, which was great, because it was like people were paying their bills fast, which is good, you know.
Of course, of course.
Um,
And restocking the
so
shelves and doing whatever they needed to do.
yeah, yeah. So that's always nice, and it's selfishly. I mean, I say selfishly, but it's a pretty good feeling to be wiring, $500,000 every few days to the food banks and stuff. That's fun.
Absolutely. And something you should be very proud of.
Thank you.
Your mom is smiling down at you,
Aw,
Katie.
thanks, Sherry.
You bet. That is a lofty goal set out by your mom, and you're fulfilling her legacy, and it is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you
You
so much.
bet.
You.
You bet. I love it. Love hearing about it. And I love that you're bragging about yourself and writing that check as you should be.
Aw, well, thanks.
You bet. Now, tell me, are you going to go to the NAPT, the WPT? What are you doing in poker the next couple months?
Yeah, I actually have a flight for NAPT. I booked the flight, and then two things happened. I realized I booked my return after my son's birthday party, so
Oh, not good.
that's a problem.
A little bit of a problem
A
there,
little bit of a
yes.
problem. And then I also realized I booked my return after a big dinner that I am hosting. And so,
You're bad at this booking thing. You
yeah,
better
I'm not
get a
very good.
day timer.
Yeah, so I need to go back and change my flight, but I do plan on being there for NAPT, because my best friend Jen Shahadi is going to be there, and of course, like, there's just a lot of, like, Stars is doing like a lot of really cool things, and so I just want to be there to support. And I know so many of the people, as do you, obviously, just that are involved and really trying to make a difference with the ladies stuff. And so I just want to come out and support and see
Absolutely.
my friends. And and then December, we are actually going to be in California for like the second half of the month at a meeting, seeing some family. So I won't be able to go to Vegas for then. But how about
Okay.
you? What are you going to do?
Actually, I'm gonna be at the W or the yeah NAPT, um, but I'm only coming because my daughter's gonna be in town. She's a college coach, and her team is actually going to be coming to play in Vegas. So probably be tied up most of those. I'm only there like Thursday through Sunday for that visit, and then in December I'll be there a week for the WPT. So
I'll probably be there at the same time you will then in Vegas, because I'll have to cut my return short, but I'll probably be there at the same time so we can get together for sure.
yeah, absolutely, for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But when I leave on the 7th of November, I'm actually leaving for like 5 weeks. So I am trying to get a lot done before I leave because I want to get home like December 17th ish. Christmas is the next week. So I may be actually putting my tree up before I leave, but we have to figure that out still.
Oh, I'm in total support of that. I had to be talked out of putting Christmas decorations up prior to Halloween. That's like, I mean, I never took my lights down. Actually, I put lights up on the wall, and they stayed up. And then
I
when I
love it.
moved, they came down.
I love it. Yeah, I've actually put my tree up either 1 or 2 weeks before Thanksgiving before because I was traveling again for a long period of time. So I wanted it up so when I got home I wouldn't have to think about it. But I've never done it the first week of November before, or even next week would be, the end of October. But
Yeah,
um I'm still, the jury's out on that. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, I'm in full support of any pre-celebration lighting.
hell yeah.
I think it's I think as long as it's not blinking, it's totally fair game to stay up year round. And it doesn't matter what color the lights are. I think it's totally like, you know, I think it's
I'm
okay.
all about it. I'm all about it. And I live in a little town that has a one of the old courthouses on the town square, and they decorate
Mm,
all of the trees in white twinkle lights at the
that's so
holidays.
pretty. I love that.
I do too, and I'm like, y'all should just leave those up all year round. It will not be offensive. Just you could take like the snowflakes off the light poles. That's fine, but just leave the trees decorated because
I
They
to
do
agree.
me
that
is
down here,
so
Sherry, in
cool.
Florida. They leave all the lights on the palm trees down here, which I like, and they kind of keep them up for a few months. And
I
some
love
places
that.
will do it 24/7. It's really nice if it's done like
It's
not
so
tackily.
festive. I love that. And it doesn't have to be Christmas to be festive, right? And I really wish our town would leave those lights up. But
A
anyway,
lot of people will use the white lights down here, Sherry, 24/7, and it does. It looks nice at nighttime.
yeah.
What part of
Absolutely.
Florida is that?
I'm in South Florida, so I'm like 40 minutes north of Miami, give or take.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been in that area a lot. Yeah.
I'm
I
like the Hard Rock vicinity.
Oh yeah. No, that's nice. And that makes sense though for Florida because for that part of Florida because it's like such a destination like vacation place for people. So it's like, a lot of like celebratory and man, I wonder I mean, it helps contribute to like the vacation and the visiting mentality. I wonder if something as simple as doing that like in busy like bustling areas in Houston would help with the bringing people
I'm
to, you
I'm
know,
just going to tell you, whenever somebody's visiting and I know those lights are up, we're going to that
you
area.
go. Yeah, you go
We're going
there.
to that area because it's such a great impression for the visitors, and they just love it. Like, it's a small town feel, and you have this, everything's lit up, and, it's pretty, and they love it. I always take my visitors down there when there's lights for sure.
All
I
right.
say yes, it would make a difference.
I'm literally like I'm not just like spewing. I'm literally going to like try to convince the people in charge of the lighting in the important like town centers in Houston. I'm going to try to
Well,
convince.
Katie, think about New Jersey. Think about how dark the New Jersey Turnpike is. And then
Yeah,
when you finally get to Atlantic City and you see the lights once you hit the AC Expressway, and say what you want about Atlantic City. I know it's my home city, my home, whatever, but I like the lights. It entices me, just like what Sherry said.
totally. I feel the exact same way. I mean, I would always remember like cuz we lived in Brigantine for so long and I would remember like getting to that last as you're entering AC on the expressway and then you go through that last toll booth and I would immediately put my windows down because that was like the first time you could really smell the salt water and it was like a whole immersion experience and like coming home from like not being there for like a long time is just like such a sweet experience because it's like and I love that strip of drive I like people say what they say about Atlantic City dude I think it's like a really like people don't you know whatever I guess yeah it did have the highest murder rate per capita in this country for a long time but come on there's a lot of other good things about it and the
Again, we
city
I
need to
does
stayed in
focus on the
Brigantine.
positive, right? We got to
yeah
Exactly,
focus
Sherry.
on the positive. And
yeah
there's a lot of positive that happened and still is happening in Atlantic City. And
And it has a beach, like Sherry. It has a beach, and then like
it
the
has
summer
a
months and
beach.
stuff. Like
That's
there's
right.
other allures, and that people tend to, like you said, they focus on the negativity with Atlantic City. Does it have ghetto areas and strips? Like absolutely, but There's also parts of it like over where like the Borgata and Harris's is completely separate from the Strip in the other part of Atlantic City. I've always liked it there. You know, it's my home away from home, so I'll always have some nostalgia towards it.
Well, and Brigantine is like you have these really cute little beach towns that surround
It's
AC. It's kind
gorgeous.
of a
It's
like it's kind
gorgeous.
of a bizarre really little interesting area because you have AC and then these little towns surround it, but they're very, very, very like the houses are really expensive and it's all like it's a lot of beachfront. And so it's like a little tiny, like 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,200 square foot house in Ventnor or Margate is 650 fucking $1,000, like $750,000 for something that was built in 1952
Right.
and hasn't been upgraded, and that's what's so insane is that like all of that is within steps of the Atlantic City casinos. And so it's there's a lot, and I don't think a lot of people realize that, like when they think of Borgata or AC they just think of like dirty AC or whatever. But it's like, wait, just like drive 100 fucking yards away from the casino, and it's a totally different world where like I can't afford to live in Margate, New Jersey, in Ventnor, New Jersey. Like
Right. Right.
it's one of those weird. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe like San Diego has like, or maybe California has more situations like that where there's such a like polarized pricing,
Yeah, but
like
if you think about most, especially the standalone casinos outside of Vegas, um, or even card rooms, they're not always in the best neighborhoods, right? And
mm-mm.
so you can really say that about probably a majority of those casinos, card rooms that are not in Vegas.
Hard Rock's in the hood down here, Sherry. Like not the hood, but like the area that it's in Hollywood is obviously not fucking like Miami. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
I
yeah,
just
it's
think,
100%.
yeah, and I think that the fact that, Atlantic City was always used in movies, seedy, as the
Mhm.
seedy play, like it just has
It's the
built it.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it's justifiable. Like every city has its crime, and were they murder capital of the world for a while there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think Chicago is now taking that over, but I again, what are we focusing on? The stories or the facts, and the positive or the negative. Acknowledge those negatives, no problem, but
Yeah.
we got to acknowledge the positives too.
I remember the Solve for Why group, Matt Berkey, they did, I don't, maybe this was like a couple of years ago or something. I gotta find it because it was so sharp. It was so smart. But like like content creation, just like the kinds of content that is created these days. And that I've got a lot of very strong feelings about that. But they did something really smart. And when they went to AC, I guess they were doing something for some tour or something, but like the
Right.
whole crew was down there and they were broadcasting their podcast and stuff. But they did a whole Monopoly game like thing around Atlantic City
Oh my
because
gosh, how fun would that be?
yes, like where they highlighted like, the boardwalk and this cuz it is like all those historic, points like in the
Right.
game, like
Right. Right.
boardwalk, park cuz all those streets exist, in
Right.
Atlantic City. And so you're literally like in a Monopoly game, if you're driving around downtown AC. And I thought it was so smart because it like nobody had done anything like that before. And it was so good, like such a nice departure from the standard, like, let's go to AC and let's go to the boardwalk and let's make a bet on how many times, you know, uh, Louis is gonna, need to use the bathroom before we walk from one end to the next of the boardwalk. And I'm like, can we please, like, can we please just think a little outside the box and make some good fucking content? Like, I could just go off on a whole fucking rant right now about poker content creators, but
Oh,
we won't go
yeah.
there.
You and I are probably on the same page
Yeah,
on that subject matter because, spewing it and doing it are two different things, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, I see our Lips account joined us, and I'm assuming maybe it's Lupe.
It is, and I'm just so excited to wake up to my coffee and have Miss Katie. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. I didn't know that was you, Lupe.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
Well,
Miss you, love you, miss hearing your voice, but at least I get to
all
hear
of
you
those things.
now.
Ditto, ditto, ditto. But I just have to say, my first time that I took my kids to Atlantic City for an event, and I think it was either the Borgata or maybe was it the Showboat? Did they have the? Was it the Showboat out
Oh
there?
yes. Oh
Okay,
yes, it was.
maybe
I
it was
remember
the
the
Showboat.
showboat.
Dude,
So
I still remember the playlist from the Showboat Poker Room. So
that's so crazy. But we did that. I told my kids, and they were, well, of course, this was almost 20 years ago. I said, let's go to Atlantic City. I'm going to take you with me to offer this event that I'm having out there. And then in our off time, let's find all the Monopoly places. So we did that. We went and we took a picture with a Polaroid camera under every sign that we found.
That
And
is
yeah, and
amazing.
we made our own Monopoly game when we got home. So it was our family in all the different Atlantic City
Oh,
spots.
I love that.
Yes, I love
That
it
is
too.
amazing. That thank you for sharing that. I'm going to remember that, and if I have the occasion, whoever's in Atlantic City with me, we're playing Monopoly.
It's a lot of fun, and I just want to say I love Katie and everything, and I miss your face too.
Hit that microphone button, Katie. She might have gotten a call.
oh sorry. I just the guys had to come to my house just now. They're doing wire and cable and Sherry, I just had to tell them, I'm like, y'all can dig in there, but just be careful because there's rats.
God, I'm sure their faces were amazing to
He
that statement.
he didn't say anything. His face just froze.
Katie, out of curiosity, do you know Paras from the Brigada? He plays PLO. He moved to Austin.
No, I don't. But I was never a big like cash game player at Borgata. I was only playing
More
tournaments,
20s. Okay.
mostly online. Obviously, I was 90% online volume and very, very, very rarely. I mean, it was easy for me at Borgata because I was just across the bridge in Brigantine. So like every $400 Saturday series, me and Joey were there, of course, but we weren't like the only time that we would really be grinding, like, or that we would jump in the cash game streets would be like back in the good old days, like January, Borgata Winter Open, because cash games would always just get like nuts because so many tournament players would come into town. And so like during those big series, but then yeah, like the PLO and the mixed game crew, like that's just a whole nother world of, people that a lot of times you just don't even know them because you don't interact with them. And but yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that have moved to Texas, and it's not surprising because uh, this is a very big PLO state, and I guess the understood thing at this point is Houston is the PLO city, and Dallas is the no limit Texas Hold'em city, and that's kind of where
Oh, interesting.
yeah, like the big, big, big PLO games are here, and then the big no limit games are here or in Dallas, but that's totally like it depends on what you consider big. Like I see a 1-2 or 1-3 game here in Houston because I just did I commentated at Champions a few
And
weeks
it's
ago.
bigger than 510 at Hard Rock with no
Oh,
cap. Texas is
exactly.
just a whole different beast. Like the
It,
kids will come out and play with us, and they're like, "This is 2.5." They're like, "You're buying in for 500." They're like, "What?" Like they get a little confused when they come to South Florida for a little bit.
yeah, because there's a lot of money in these games. So
That
yeah,
was
it's
the
just different.
one big difference right off the bat when I went to the lodge a few years ago. The 1-3 game. I mean, there was literally probably $30,000 on that table.
Easy. That's what I'm saying. It's
And
not
I was
people
like,
don't know it
this
until
is
they
for
play it
like a
too.
2-5. Like, what are we
Five
doing
ten.
here?
It's like a 510 game, not even 2.5.
Yeah, that's pretty normal from what and just like glancing around the room and stuff. But that's what's like so amazing too about it is that like even with that, like the climate and the culture is just so different from anywhere else and it's just so pleasant. So it's like you could even like I don't know, it's just so it's very, very much a hospitable climate, even in those situations where you might think somebody who's underrolled or a newer player might be like easily intimidated by, but they're not. They actually go above and beyond to make them feel comfortable and welcome. And it's like, why is it not like this everywhere? Like Texas
Katie, I've
players.
said this specifically to this entire group, specifically Sherry. It's just because we come from the Northeast and we've grinded Atlantic City predominantly. And like you said, it's the most miserable, awful human beings on the planet. So, like, even though there's like a plethora of Northeast people down here in Florida where I live, you still get that Southern hospitality. And now I'm addicted to it. I'd rather be homeless down here than ever move back to New York. I'm not joking either.
well, let's not get you homeless. So, you know,
And I might
stay
add, he's
home,
talking about
please.
himself when he's using those words to describe the people from the East. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Maddie knows I
No,
love him.
I think too, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think some of it has to be attributed because I mean, it sounds weird, but like I spend a lot of time thinking about this because it's like it's just so different. But I honestly, you guys, think that part of it is because poker for so long, like Texas Hold'em is from Texas, right? But because for so long there has been no legalized poker and there's no casinos, and whereas the rest of the country is, and in a lot of states, is thriving with it. And so they have kind of had to fight for their ability to play. Like when I started playing poker in Dallas, after college, this is the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006. Dude, I was going to these like warehouse back rooms, like park in a fucking, commercial shipping zone and follow the text message from some random number, that is, telling you open that door, then go down those stairs. And, that's, I think what, I mean, that's not how all of it is, but Texans had to kind of like really fight for the ability to play.
Let me just say, Katie, I'm going to interrupt you and
Yeah.
say we're still following those text messages on phones here in Georgia till today. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And, I think like that kind of, I think watching the whole country like get poker, celebrate poker over the last, 2 decades, I think it kind of instilled a graciousness almost and a gratefulness in the fact that, that's fine. Everybody else can play our game that, was born in our state, but we are happy and we have our own game and we make it, our own. And it is, Texas poker is very different from everywhere else, and it has stayed insulated. And that's the other like big, where the, where the other structures of the state kind of permeates is like, even like during like financial crises and all other kinds of crises, like Texas tends to stay pretty insulated. Like we're just very self-sufficient. And then on top of that, I know I'm just going off. On top of that, there's this mentality that, everything is bigger and better in Texas, right?
Texas wants to be its own country, Katie, just like Florida does. If you guys
Yeah.
had nuclear weapons, like I said, you guys would probably break
Maddie,
off and be your own
Yeah.
country. It's
But
true
like,
though, Sherry. I'm serious.
Maddie, I
They're
love
more
you so
extreme than
much for being
Floridians. They are.
crazy.
The Texans are more extreme than Floridians, but it's true, Sherry.
but
Same
it's
with
like a
Florida. We want to break away. We do.
it's a legitimate mentality, and it's like it's a joke and it's a meme and it's like on greeting cards and stuff like that. But here's the thing, I don't think it's a joke because, like, specifically, I'll give you just like a very specific anecdotal example. Houston and many of the big cities in Texas didn't start like, way, way, way back when or whatever with any kind of like land zoning. So, meaning like in New York, there's like commercial zoning, residential zoning. So, what that means is like you can't build a farm on Fifth Avenue across from the street
Right.
from the Empire State Building. Like you're not allowed. But guess what? You can in Texas, because if the guy who owns the property is grandfathered in, like they did change the zoning, in the last few decades. But up until that point, there was no zoning. And so the result of that was, you know, these big buildings and complexes owned by these, wealthy oil families and wealthy, whatever. And then they had their Longhorn in the front yard. Like, when I say front yard, I mean like
Literally.
interstate property frontage, like you're driving by and you're going to hotels and you're going to the gas station and you're going to the movies. And then you see a big field of Longhorn cattle, like in downtown, wherever. And that was like allowed. That was like a real thing. And I think it's that mentality. And the same thing with like the restaurant fusion that I was talking about. I think it's just another example of, everything is bigger and better in Texas. We can do what we want, right? Like if I
Do it
want to
their way.
have,
You're going to
yeah,
do it your way.
yeah. Like if I want a goat colony, in my, on the side of my home, and then I want to open a hibachi Peruvian fusion, little cafe on the other side, well, hell, I'm going to do it,
Hell
and,
yeah.
and that is the mentality. And I think it's just like, no disrespect to Florida or whatever, but like, I think it's just like a Texas mentality. Like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it better and bigger. And I think that mentality just kind of permeates like everything. Like, and I think it just is not a joke. It's like,
Well, and I
um,
think it's like, you know what? We're going to do it our way. We don't care what you think about it, or we don't care if you like it or don't like it. We want to do it, so we're going to do it.
yeah.
Now, I do want to ask you, like, how close is it getting? We want legalized poker in Texas. How close are we getting to that, Katie?
So it's interesting question because, the current governor has, in the last few elections, has like mentioned legalized gambling. Um, Obviously it hasn't happened, but there's a few other really important things that have happened, right? So you have all of these poker rooms that have been sprouting up since the mid 2019, right?
Right,
And so there's a lot of them here now in Houston, and each city is governed differently. So the gray area that these poker rooms exist in are each individually dictated by the city councils of each city. So Dallas, Austin,
right,
San Antonio, Houston. If Houston just decides that they don't want any more of these rooms, it does not affect the San Antonio rooms. It does not
right,
affect the Austin rooms. I mean, it could proceed. There could be a perceived, effect, but it's there's no law. Like they're deciding individually. And so that happens. So meaning that they're showing a demand, right? Like that's the first thing like any business is going to look at. Like, is there a demand for the product? Okay. So there's all these underground back room, gray area type rooms operating. Clearly there's a demand. The other thing that happened is you saw what happened in Dallas with Mavericks,
right,
right?
right,
So Mark Cuban sold, 70% of the Mavericks to the Adelson group.
right.
And it's very, very, very obvious that they are going to be building a casino in Dallas. And it makes sense that,
Absolutely.
yeah, and it makes sense that that's going to happen. So, we have to look at clues like that. The other thing is we have in Texas, in Houston, a really important individual by the name of Tillman Fertitta. And if you don't know who Tillman Fertitta is, just Google him to see who he is. But he owns, not only does he own the Rockets, the Houston Rockets, but he also owns the largest restaurant company in the world, Landry's, like 600, 700 restaurants around. He owns all the Golden Nugget casinos. He's the founder. He's one of the founding owners of the Houston Texans. He had a show for a long time, like $1 Million Investor or something like that. I think it's a reality show. He still has it. But this man is very invested in casinos, and he owns a lot of property in Texas. He owns a lot of coastline, like Galveston, Texas is a very vacation
Right.
beach town. Well, he owns pretty much most of that town.
Plus, it's a port, isn't it? Don't
Oh
they?
yeah, we
Yeah,
have a
it's a
big
port.
port. Most
Yeah,
most people don't know that Houston
yeah.
has a port. We have a huge international shipping channel port, which is another reason why we're such an international city, because it's easy in, easy out, and the water
Right.
goes all the way into Houston. The port goes all the way into downtown Houston. So these big shipping containers and ships, they're right there in downtown. And a lot of people don't know that. But so you have all these clues, right? You've got Tillman, who obviously is invested very heavily in the state, both financially, business, and land. And then you have the transaction that took place in Dallas. They announced Margaritaville, which is a completely separate group,
Right.
announced a few months ago a $700 million Margaritaville being constructed in Galveston. And you just can't tell me that these places are going to
There's
be not
hey,
non-gaming.
there's a lot of context clues, huh?
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like the writing on the wall, and I think, and that's good, because all of this makes it less dependent on, I think, I'm not a political expert, but I think all of that makes it less dependent on the actual person in office, because I think it's, then they have to kind of read the writing on the wall.
Right.
Like, all of this industry is going on and starting. There's clearly a demand. I'm not going to be the asshole to say no. What's interesting for me, though, Sherry and Lupe, I don't know if you know anything about this or if you want to comment on this. What's interesting for me, and it's a really important topic, and I wish it would be discussed a little bit more out in the open, is there's so much progress, I feel like, that's being made with these smaller rooms like the Lodge and Champions. And on a smaller scale, they have been able to really perfect certain areas of the poker playing process to make it more desirable for the player. Well, that typically is not what happens in the casino world, right? Like, and I spoke about this at the TDA
Well,
summit. Like, as soon as you walk in the door of the casino, it's one experience. But as soon as you step foot in the poker room, it's like hospitality stops.
and I've told people, I've had interviews with some, people involved with running rooms before. And they've talked about the struggle, right? That the poker room's not the priority, right?
No, because it doesn't make
Right.
very much money for the
And
casino.
right.
Yeah.
And what tell them is, they would say, tell us things you want. Like, what can we do to improve our poker room so, you know, we're going to be one of the top? And this is exactly what I would say to them. Go to Best Bet and see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Best Bet has it figured out. They have 60 tables when they host the WPT or whatever, the Run Good series, whatever series they host, it's jam packed. When they're not hosting, it's jam packed. And some of the things that they do, like high hand promotions, they do it twice a year, 12 days of Christmas in July and in December. And the 12th of those months, high hands are $1,200 a high hand per hour.
Wow.
Then on the 13th of each of those months, they're $1,300, all the way to $2,400 an hour on the 12th day of Christmas.
Oh my God.
And so you don't think that's going to bring you customers? Like, what they're doing there is the perfection, in my opinion, of what a poker room should be doing. They're
Yeah.
taking care of the customer with great promotions, and you're not earning any points. Like, they're not doing the reward program. Like, I don't swipe my card there for anything but for them to know who's at the table.
Right.
Other than that, you're not earning any points toward anything. And
Well,
guess what? The customers love that place.
interesting. Yeah. And I mean, this, I mean, it's really great because I haven't spent that much time there. But what I'm worried about is, I'm worried about what's going to happen to these smaller rooms.
Yeah.
And I'm worried legally, like, what's their status going to be once gaming is legalized.
Well, and that's a valid worry. And I kind of think that the lodge is probably setting the precedence with that when they're trying to scoop up more property and open another location, right? Texas card rooms, same thing. They have multiple locations. And I think those are your leaders in that industry, champions. They're doing stuff innovatively, bringing the top of you know the service industry to run the place, and they have a hotel attached, and those places are setting the precedence. And so
I
you
know, but
either
what's going to happen to them?
well, my
Because,
next statement was you got to keep up or you're going to be out.
well, how do they do that though? Because they
Katie,
obviously don't have the like lobbying capability that an Adelson or a Fertitta group would have. And
Correct.
so, how do they fight for their share of the pie when legalization happens? Because I guarantee you, the casinos are not going to be looking at these guys as friendly competition. They're going to be looking at them as fucking competition.
Well, and you've got to make sure that the laws that are put in place protect those little guys, right? And not squeeze them out of the game, so to speak.
Well, I don't think anybody who's ever been in politics understands that or doesn't understand that the big guns make the rules.
Right.
That is in every freaking
Right.
state, every single city. But I think if they were smart, they would be currently grooming a relationship with the big guns. So instead of it being the lodge standalone, the lodge is running the poker room inside of the Sands or wherever, whoever's opening up that poker room.
Right.
Just like you see the Indian casinos, they were not casino people, so they aligned themselves with a Caesar's property or a different, or even Marriott's or whoever, to run their hotels. They
Right.
created a relationship, and I think that if they start now with that kind of a conversation, they might have a leg to stand on. But I can tell you now that unless they are of that caliber where they've established themselves, they are going to be squashed like a bug.
And
down here,
that's
though, we have Hard Rock, and that's the predominant thing that makes the most money. But Katie and everyone, surprisingly, all these other small venues down here do just fine, and they grab their small pieces of the pie. Now, do they make as much as Hard Rock? Absolutely not. But
but
there's
here's
so
the
many
thing.
people down here that don't want to travel, Katie. So they'd rather go to the casino that's 15 minutes away from them instead of
Right.
like an hour or 45 minutes. And that's how they cry, like carve up those small niches. But no, they do nothing, no numbers compared to Hard Rock.
Well, and
Nothing
let's
close.
face it, like Dallas is what, 3 hours from Austin. So
Right.
Austin has its place, right? Houston, now that may be different. How far are you guys from Galveston?
We're 5 hours
Oh yeah, so
from,
you're
and
you're
yeah,
protected under that bubble too. So
yeah,
I think the ones that would have to worry are the ones that are near where those properties are going to be built.
right. And the one, like the Margaritaville in Galveston, is about 45 minutes south of Houston. And then, 4 to 5 hours, depending on how fast you're driving and what the construction's like on 45 or whatever
Right.
to get to Dallas. But,
I mean, like
the,
there's a Texas card room in Dallas, right? So
right.
that property, I would say, needs to, like Lupe say, develop some kind of relationship in hopes that maybe they can run that poker room in that new property.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, they will be squashed because they're right near it.
Yeah, and I'm worried about that because I know, like, just from like, I know the champions people better than the lodge people, but I know like how much money they're putting into this,
Right.
and they're headquartered in Dallas. They're not even headquartered in Houston. Their flagship, like, they told me about the building that they bought in Dallas. And for those of you who are in Dallas or familiar, they bought the fucking Three Forks building on the Dallas North Tollway. If you live in Dallas, or if you've ever lived in Dallas, you've seen the Three Forks building. It was a very popular restaurant back in the day, and it's a huge, very prominent building structure right along the tollway. It's kind of like a landmark. They bought that building to be their headquarters in Dallas. And so I know that just
Interesting.
Yeah, like how much resources they're putting into. I mean, you're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars that these guys are investing. And like, what the fuck happens when like
Well,
a
let me ask
Fertitta
you
and an
this.
Adelson come into town, you know?
But let me ask you this. What if the promise is that the new properties aren't going to have a poker room?
Well, let's think of the likelihood of that. I mean, let's think of what kind of room would be coming to Dallas. So you have an Adelson backed casino group, which is Venetian, which is pretty high on poker,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
And then you have a Tillman backed group, which again is Golden Nugget. Now, while they don't have a whole lot of presence, they are in online gaming. So there is a poker, a poker area in the whole, Golden Nugget. I think DraftKings owns half of it because I remember when Tillman sold that. But there's definitely like a poker legacy and a poker history aligned with both of these companies. So I mean, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that they wouldn't open a casino and not have poker. But it's not the first time because when Choctaw, I mean, these are Indian casinos. When Choctaw and WinStar opened, they didn't have poker either. They had just like slots first, and
Right.
then they got blackjack, and then poker was like the last game that they got. So I don't know. I don't see that happening. I would think that if they're going to build a big casino like that, they're going to do it right, and they're going to have it's they're going to try to recreate the Vegas experience. I think so. They don't, like that was always the biggest complaint about Borgata was they didn't have. Remember when they didn't have sports betting? And it was like, oh, it's not a real casino and blah blah blah, and there was no sports book and you couldn't bet sports or whatever, and then they got it, and then it was like, okay, now it's real.
It's
um
all about that perception, isn't it?
yeah, and the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going
So
to be interesting to see how all that shakes out.
totally, I mean, I hope they survive, just for the
Of
good of the game,
course.
because
Of
these
course.
smaller rooms are doing some really good things.
Of course. And they're working hard at it.
And there's a lot of people that work too. I mean, there's just a lot of people that are working and making their career and stuff. And it's like you don't want them to be doing all this work and then they have to move back to wherever. It's like that's not great.
I hear you.
So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that it
Anybody who
works
has
out
any
the best.
connections in Texas, send a note and say we want poker or not.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
want legalized poker in Texas. Come on, Texas.
Yeah, and regulated really truly, like, I mean, I also think that, like, when regulated, I mean, my husband and I were, online players for 15 years, and we were living in Mexico when New Jersey regulation took place, and we, happened to be from New Jersey, and so we were able to move back home. But it was very, very lucrative. It was very profitable those first few years of regulation because you were in a state that just didn't have a whole lot of online poker players, and so there was a lot of big prize pools and just a smaller amount of good players and then a lot more less skilled players. And I think that that's going to happen in Texas too. So it's like, even though like my husband still plays full time, but I don't. But man, like as soon as Texas gets online poker, I'm back. I've already started, like I've been couple years, out of competitive playing for the most part because I've been feeding millions of people, but it's definitely something I will not be able to keep my hands out of the cookie jar for because fuck, like we literally won all the money in New Jersey in like 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, so
Very lucrative. And you can't just turn your back on it.
no, no. So
I love it. Love it. You need to get to the feed store, my friend.
I know I just came out into my backyard to see if I see the rats. For those of you who just joined, I have
You're
rats
gonna give
in
me
my backyard.
nightmares with this shit.
And they're big fucking rats, like with really long tails, and there's babies, and
Oh,
oh my god,
disgusting.
yeah, I
I've
know.
seen a New York City rat that was bigger than my French bulldog one time. Just one time in Brooklyn. It was crazy, yo. It was crazy.
I remember seeing them in the stupid subway. I was like, oh, hell no. I will pay for a cab before I come back down to
Those
the
ones are
subway.
tiny, Sherry. Those are what we call the
Oh,
pizza rats. Those are pizza rats. But some of these other ones, they're
oh,
literally the size of small dogs.
disgusting. I couldn't do it. I was like, no, we are taking cabs. I'm not doing this anymore. Of course, they were nowhere near us. Just the fact I could see them and you could hear them squeaking. Oh, hell no.
Oh
Nope.
God, the rat squeak. Ugh,
Oh,
talk about nightmares.
exactly. No, thank you. I'm not having it.
Too many natural predators down here in Florida. They don't do too well down here in Florida.
Yeah, you have a lot more like flying predators down there too, right?
It's basically Jurassic Park down here. So, like, as much as I'm saying there's no rats, we have basically everything else, including like prehistoric dinosaurs, like lurking in the forests. Like, yeah, it gets wild down here.
You are so funny.
Yeah, like alligators and shit. I mean, we have alligators here in Houston too, whether we like it or not, because we have a lot of bayous um, and every now and again you'll see a gator story on the news, caught in back behind somebody's house in a bayou, but it's certainly not as much as Florida for sure.
We even have crocodiles down here. The crocodiles are in the ocean sometimes. It's just different down here. I'm not saying
Oh
that's like
wow,
common, but like sometimes we've been spotting crocodiles actually like in our waters and they swim like literally 20 feet from the beach. It's crazy.
how did
Oh,
they
hell no.
survive?
I didn't realize that, like, I had to Google this, but like, I guess the crocodiles that are native to Florida down here can do saltwater and freshwater. They can do saltwater just for not long periods of time. So, like, we have sharks and stuff too that are able to like survive in freshwater. They'll swim into like the bays in Miami and chill. Like, they could do it for a little bit, just not long periods of time. But yeah, they've been able to adapt now. It's wild.
That's wild,
So
wild.
it's Jurassic Park down here. Like I'm
And
telling
let's
you, it's
not forget
different.
about your snake population, thanks to some morons that let out the snakes.
Yeah, it's like let's just get rid of some of these 15-foot snakes and throw them into nature. Nothing's gonna happen. And then yeah, they just took over down here. But that's definitely some Florida shit too. It's crazy. But like that's how the lizards are down here. The ducks. There's so many invasive species that come to Florida and they just thrive because of the climate.
And those are precisely all the reasons I could never live there.
Definitely takes a specific human to live down here. It's literally
I
it,
wouldn't move there just because of the drivers. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
different. Like you think New York, New Jersey people are aggressive driving, Miami, that's why like we have the most expensive car insurance in the country down here in South Florida. Like, but I've told this story too, Katie. Miami's the only place I've ever seen where a cop was doing 90, 95 in the left lane. There's 5 lanes. It was 95 when I first got out from Brickell. And some car was doing 100 and made the cop get over into the middle lane doing 95. And he passed the cop doing 100 and the cop didn't pull him over. And I was like, get the fuck. I was like, yep, just some Florida shit. But yeah, like it's just different down here. Very, very different.
I think, yeah, like South Florida, I think for me is the most scary driving environment. But then Vegas has, in my opinion, the worst red light runners. So, like, anytime I've totally changed my driving strategy in Vegas because of this. Anytime I'm like first in line at a light, I mean, you should probably just do this in general, and maybe most people do. I don't know. But like you literally, and even here in Houston, it's gotten kind of bad. You can't like go when you have a green light. Like you just can't in Vegas. You literally run like a 50% chance of getting T-boned. I swear to God.
That's
So like
crazy.
if you're in the front, like don't go. Literally
So
just
you have to do
wait.
like one Mississippi, two Mississippis.
Yeah,
That's
100%. And you
crazy.
kind of got to look and kind of get your head
That's
out like and
crazy.
look both ways. Like that's how I drive in Vegas. I'm not like, you know, I am not out of my mind, I mean cuz I mean I obviously live there and spend a lot of time there every year, and it is just a completely different like you really have to be a very like protective, like defensive driver in Vegas.
I guess the two of you have never driven in Atlanta. because everybody complains about Atlanta. It doesn't bother me, but I've been here forever. So,
Worst traffic I've ever seen in my life, Sherry, was Atlanta. And I've lived in Miami and New York City, and I'm not even kidding you. If you've never been to Atlanta, Atlanta's traffic, Atlanta's a metropolis, but still, I've never seen, well, no, I've actually seen traffic like that in parts of Virginia, like where was it on 95? But that's the only thing that even close to mimicked Atlantic. That was wild.
well, and it's so funny because, I've been here so long, it doesn't bother me. And I do a lot of driving, and so people are like, oh my God, I'm not coming through that city. It's horrible. And I just laugh. I'm like, I hear that all the time. But, when you live here, you just deal with it. Like, I don't know.
Traffic after playing poker tilts me. There's certain, well, you know how crazy my moods get, Sherry. So it's traffic can trigger me and it can't trigger me. But sometimes down here in South Florida, it's bad where you'll be sitting for hours and fucking hours. Like, yeah, traffic's starting to get bad down here. It's very, very overpopulated.
I think we have on 7585 going through town, I think it's like 6 lanes or 7 lanes. And you will be bumper to bumper with that many lanes. And you're like, where are all these cars from? Like, how do you look in your rear view mirror and it's just bumper to bumper for miles behind you, miles in front of you. You're like, where are all these people going? Like, I
They
don't even.
said traffic is literally caused by human error, Sherry. So they said if every single person was paying attention and stuck to the last person's bumper and drove at a small speed, that traffic would literally cease to exist. Obviously, like besides like if a tree fell down or something happened where like obviously you can't flow, but if traffic is flowing, like they literally say it's all caused by fucking human errors and idiocracies.
I've never heard of that before. That's so interesting. So that means that would make sense that cities and towns that maybe have a lot of like unlicensed drivers would have more traffic because they have less training. I don't know. I've never heard of that
Well,
before.
People
even
are just,
rubbernecking, right? Even like rubbernecking at something or
yep,
just on your cell phone, not paying attention. So
yep.
you're slowing down
Just
traffic
little
or.
things like that. But if, like, literally, like, say there was a natural disaster and every single person wasn't looking at their phone and was trying, like, you would be surprised about how much of this traffic would quote unquote solve itself.
That's so true. I mean, that's so logical. Like when you think about it, you're like, damn, that just makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I know that's so weird. I
Absolutely.
never heard that.
Hey, Sean McCormick, welcome.
Good morning, Sherry. Man, it's been a while since I've been in one of these things, but the sheriff's in town. I'm definitely gonna stop by. But you guys are talking about something I actually want to talk about, like traffic and stuff. This is holy, holy crap here. I I want to co-sign on what Maddie S is saying here. I actually researched this weirdly. I read a lot about like traffic patterns, especially on highways and stuff, like 10 years ago, and yeah, it's something to do with like if the person in the front of the traffic steps on their brakes it can ripple effect backwards, taking like it goes like 8 seconds to 16 seconds, and it's wild to watch. And literally, like my wife if she was here, she could attest to this. The number one thing I yell at people when they're on the highway, and I'm not a big screamer while I'm driving, I'm not a maniac, but I'm from Boston too, so I'm a little bit of a maniac. But like I always yell at people like, take your foot off the gas. You don't have to step on your brake. They achieve the same thing and don't cause the traffic. Like literally, you don't have to step on your brakes when decelerating is the first step in slowing down. That's my TED talk for today on traffic.
Oh my
I'm
God, you're
I'm just
so
ready.
funny.
I'm ready for the people to start like getting those like truck horns. Like my grandmother, she's not with us any longer, but she had many years ago she had installed, and this is just whatever, and I'm like, oh, that would be great to like manage traffic and like yell at people, like blow like what's the like not blow horns, but yeah, like blow horns, like but like the she had installed in her wheel wells in the front of the car like an amplifier system so that she could like talk and then it would come out of the front of her vehicle. And the reason she did this
I
was
love
because,
her already.
well, the reason she did this though, Sherry, is because she had 5 Newfoundlands, the big, 200-pound dogs, and they would all get loose in the neighborhood. And this is the only way that she could find them. She would go driving in her Jaguar through
Oh, God
town
bless her.
with her megaphones installed on her front of her car so that she could find them. But I'm like, damn, that's a good idea. Like, when are people going to start doing this and, like, installing? And then you're going to hear a bunch of "fuck you, motherfucker, get out of my way." I don't know why people haven't done that yet. I would do it.
Well, let me just say that my daughter may or may not have dated a guy on campus that had that. And they would drive around the campus on game day, talking to people walking on the street and saying, hey, nice overalls, or hey, whatever. You reporting to prison today because they were in orange or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for stuff like that. Somebody's going to come out with something.
All right, you guys have to humor me because I have to give somebody some credit this morning. A friend in the Spaces has been developing some new Spaces tunes for us to listen to. So I'm going to play one that was sent to me yesterday. And you'll understand why in a minute. So just bear with me for a minute, you guys. Ain't you so right? They can make you cry. With a gleam in her eye, she ain't shy. Twitter crowd knows her poker fame. Talk shows, spinning cards and calling names. Feisty with a laugh that can burn you down. She's the queen in this southern town. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches cough and a spark that excites. She's the sheriff who sees nights. Hands in her pocket, she's talking fishtails. Brushes off the dust from the old boot trails. Howdy, y'all, she greets every friend. At the stand, her own line, she's got to win. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches cards and a spark that excites. She's the sheriff who's these nights. In the heart of the South where the sun's golden hue, Sherry spreads her roots like her peaches do. Laughter, poker, and a nudge to the side. She's the sheriff you want along for the ride. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches cards and a spark that excites. She's a sheriff who rules these nights. Hey, bud, fall up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches cards and a spark that excites. He's the sheriff who rules these nights. In the heart of the South, where the sun's golden hue, Sherry spreads roots like her peaches do. Laughter, poker, and a nudge to the side. She's the sheriff you want along for the ride. Y'all, how fun is that?
Amazing.
That was sent to me yesterday in a DM, and a friend did it. I'm not going to release the name of because he's working on some other ones for other people, and I have two more to play, and we'll do it in a little bit. One's for Barry, and then one is for Donna. So, how fun, right?
Super fun. Very creative.
Oh, I thank that person. That brought a smile to my face yesterday. It was awesome.
I gotta ask. I really gotta ask. I feel like my dogs were jamming over here. Was that a melodica? Does anybody know what that instrument is? By the way, I feel like I'm nerdy just mentioning it. It's the piano that had the tube that you would breathe into. Does anyone remember this thing? It was like an electric keyboard. Or am I just on an island here and
Let's
people think
No,
I'm
I'm
see.
crazy?
Googling that right now. See, I learned
Yeah,
I'm
something new
like,
today. What'd
I
you say
think
it's
dude,
I
called? A
think
how
that's.
old are
melodica?
you?
I'm pretty sure. Like someone's gonna fact check me here real quick, obviously,
It's
but
spelled how it sounds, melodica.
yeah, I think so.
Let me go
I'm
Google
really
this.
bad at
First,
That's
he
spelling.
crazy.
studied traffic patterns. Now he studied some kind of
Well,
instrument. But you
This is
blow
how I
my.
learn shit like this, Sherry, from weird conversations with people. That's how I learned the traffic thing too.
I
So now
just
I
got to
learned
give
what a
Sean some
melodica is.
shit.
well, I play the piano,
Melodica.
so that's the only reason why I probably know what that thing is called. But I think that's it. Someone's got to Google it, right? I'm about to Google it
I
myself.
just
And
like the
two,
word. I want to be able to use it in sentences now and like conversations. I just don't know how I can implement melodica into everyday conversation.
It sounds like a good name for a casino.
I was about to say
right?
that. It's a restaurant or some shit. Like I'm telling you, it's catchy.
I love it. I think we should just use it incorrectly and refer to Sean McCormick. Like, did you know his Melonica? Blah blah blah, and he had to go to the doctor, and
What the fuck?
he got some medicine. They gave him some antibiotics.
No matter when I come into a space, it's too early. I swear to God.
Oh
All right,
God!
guys, have a good day. I got to go to sleep and go to work later. Wish
All
me
right,
luck, so
Maddie.
I'm not working at Chick-fil-A soon. Hope you guys have a good day.
Good luck, buddy. Have a good day. Oh, that's too funny. And it's called a Melonica. Am I saying that right, Sean?
I'm probably saying it wrong, but I know it's phonetically something like that.
Okay.
I just remember you used to see them in like the 90s and stuff a lot. Like people would make funny little ditty like songs and stuff um, with them.
I'm.
I've never played one myself. The closest I've ever come to anything strange like that, I played the accordion for a little bit. That was fun.
Oh, I have. I had an accordion player at my wedding. He played in between when the band had to take a break. He played his accordion.
Oh, that's awesome! Like a little music break with a music break. I like that.
Yeah,
Like
that's
softer
cool.
music break. Yeah, I think I had like a Weird Al Yankovic like stage, so like I just picked up the accordion for a little bit. Like I couldn't play it today. There's just no way.
I've been told they're not easy to play. I wouldn't know, but that's what I've been told. They're not an easy instrument to play. So kudos.
From what I remember, it's kind of like doing the whole pat in your head and rubbing your stomach and switching. Like it just feels awkward. I mean, like half of it is a keyboard, so it felt natural to me, but like blowing, like moving it to make the air go in and out while doing that at the same time and not, staying on cadence is just, yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Um, I hear you. I hear you. But
All right,
the
y'all.
ones that do it.
I gotta get on with my day, so I will jump back in later if y'all are still on here.
Hey, happy rat hunting, my friend.
That's literally what I'm about to do is figure out what to do about these damn rats. Oh my god.
Good talking with you, and hopefully
Good
I'll see you in
talking.
a couple weeks.
I will. Have a great day, everyone.
That sounds
Thanks.
scary. Good luck, Katie.
Thank you. Yes, they are very large, menacing.
God bless her. She's not kidding. She's moved into a new rental, and there's mice the size of rats in the backyard.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I said. I said, go get the poison now. Like, what are we waiting for?
Us Las Vegans sometimes get made fun of because we live in the desert and it's like our weather is just not always great. But I'm like, for our extreme weather and heat at times, we don't have natural disasters and we don't have a lot of crazy critters that can come in. The only thing we have is scorpions, but really, you know how to take care of those, and they're few and far between. But this is why I love living here. We don't have the critters.
No, that's right. I could never live in Florida. I have enough critters here in Georgia, including scorpions. But honestly, I've been here over 30 years and I think I've seen three scorpions and they were all dead in my house. So whatever we're using to, for pests is working because by the time they get in and I see them, they're already dead. So there's that. And I see one. in the comments said, "Good morning, ladies. I hope you all have an awesome day." Thank you, Juan. I hope you do too, friend. For sure.
Yeah, the good Dr. McCormick is the same way. She makes sure the bug guy stays on beat every month, getting here, spraying
Hell
down.
yeah.
You might as well be a moat around my house that, like, if anything crawls up near it, it definitely dies right on the doorstep. So yeah, I know, I understand there. We get what do we get sometimes? Um, I mean, you could find roaches. I don't really find them as much. I think it's localized in certain parts of the city, but yeah, you can get roaches here and stuff like that. Not like New York style roaches, but
Right.
like, like normal ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not
No.
ones that set up shop, pay rent, have their own bedroom and talk to you at
And you
night.
could use them as an Uber.
Yeah, you walk in and they're smoking a cigarette on your couch. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Thank God we don't have, of course they're here. Another thing I would say is probably, I don't know if it's unique here, but it is a problem here, is the fire ants, what they call fire ants, because they make mounds in your yard. And of course the kids, if they're playing in the yard, could step into the pile, and before you know it, they have 10,000 bites on their
Oh my
legs and
God,
are
those little
very,
bastards hurt.
oh yeah, very painful. Very painful. But you figure out how to treat those, and they're gone as soon as you treat them, right? They go to your neighbor's house. Donna, are you still with us? She was driving with the gang a little bit ago.
All right. Doot, 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 doot. We got traffic on the ones with the poker boss here. It's our daily tip of the minute. Remember, guys, just because you're going the speed limit in the far left lane doesn't mean you can stay there. That's not how the passing lane works. Get back into the middle lane if you're going to go to the normal speed of traffic, and then get into the passing lane when you actually need to pass. Stop looking at us like we're assholes when we pass you on the right hand side. Thank you. Get out of the left hand lane. This,
Praise
again, brought to you by the
Jesus.
poker boss.
Praise Jesus. For the ones
It's
in the back row, get the fuck out of the left lane.
I tell people all the time, you wanna start with healing the country and having bipartisan support. Start with left laners. Let's throw them in jail. I swear to God, you'll get Republican support, Democrat support, Independent support, Libertarian support, Tea Party support. Anybody, we're all going to support this. Throw them in jail. Get out of the left lane.
Well, Georgia passed a law, I'm not sure how many years ago, about driving too slow in the left lane. So you can get a ticket for that here. Just saying.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of states now, but like, how is it enforced? That's the whole thing. Some states are like Nevada. As much as I love this state, and I really do, I really love this state. One thing I really love about it is we're not a police state. Like, I come from Massachusetts, and that's a big time police. Like, every corner is a state trooper waiting for you to like speed 66 and a 65. But it's not that way in Nevada. But with that, like, people just do whatever they want on our roads. They speed
Yeah.
at super high rates of speed. Yeah, we just don't have enough policing on our highway. And again, I'm not here to advocate for that. I drive a sports car. I don't want to get pulled over for 5 minutes, also, it's
There's
like
got
it's
to be
give
a
and take.
balance,
Yeah,
right?
it's
There's
give and
got to be
take.
a balance. Hey, Hex.
Well, well, well. It isn't old Skinny Jeans himself. On the run, Sherry. He's on the run.
I was waiting for him to reply. Does he know it's him that you're talking
Of
to?
course he does.
Turn your microphone on, Sean McCormick.
He's fainted. He's been caught.
Okay, for the record, it shows that somebody's requesting to come up. I cannot see who it is, so I don't know if it's a glitch from when Hex requested or if there's actually another person requesting. I can't see who you are if there is one. So if there is another person requesting for a speaker microphone, please go out and come back in and let's see if that fixes the issue. Thank you.
It's a glitch because someone at the bottom five there in Gitmo requested. It's a glitch. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There are five people down there right now are actually hitting the request button like, hey, that's not doing anything, but that's okay. Good morning to everybody. Hello, Hexy Poo. How you doing, buddy?
Well, well, well. Been
I'd love to
rumbling.
know what I'm on the run for. What am I on the run for?
Well, you offered a heads up match and then you fucking went Down the tunnels, bro. They're
Down the
destroying
tunnels.
you.
I've won 2 of the 8 games since that, sir. I'm actually doing quite well in these 8 games these days. I don't know if you know this,
Well,
but
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
know
haven't
you
paid in
play when I'm not
months.
around. You only
I just
play when
keep
I'm not around.
every time you've been around, I have literally like your record against me is pretty bad right now. So
I'd like the jury to know that Sean asked to play a game. Everyone jumped at the chance to get the free money. Then all of a sudden, exit stage left. Some excuse like, what was the excuse you used, Sean? I can't remember now.
what are we talking about? I have no excuse here. The match has been set. We're playing PLO, Deuce, and what was the other game? Omaha 8, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're good. The match is set. We just got to find a time, and the bet is set. Do you think I'm afraid to play you? Is
terrified.
that like a thing?
I think you're terrified.
He's busting you.
No,
This
Sean.
would, this would be one of the greatest bets I ever win, and it's like
You
it's like that when you bet like $20 against your office mate, and then you beat them, and you don't even spend the 20, you just hang it on the damn board. Like I'm going to. I don't even remember what we're playing for. $20 a game, 50 for the scoop or so. I don't remember what the rules are. The rules are in the chat somewhere. But anyways, I promise you, once I win, I'm hanging that money up. I'm signing your own name to it myself. I don't even need to wait for it to come across the pond. I don't want your actual dusty signature. I will write your signature the way I think it should look as loser hex on my money, and I will hang that in my office at work forever.
It's got to be loser Hexy Poo.
The funny thing is, I'm just using Sean as a little bit of a sideshow puppet. The real action's in the side bets I make. It doesn't really matter who it is. I always win. But because Sean's got skinny jeans and a big mouth, I can get lots of action on the side bets. So there's the good news. Thank you, Sean, for being my patsy.
Aren't you glad you came back in this morning, Sean?
That's right, Sean. You just keep your little fucking beak shut and sit in the corner. That's right. And that's how you take care of a casino manager in under 30 seconds. You're welcome.
He must have got a phone call. It's so
Bullshit.
funny.
He's stunned to silence. What are you talking about, Sherry?
Oh, that's so funny. The timing of it,
I've just put him in a little corner on his stool with a little dunce cap on. I've told him not to look around. You face
God's in
that fucking wall. You face that corner, Sean.
Sherry, I'm just sitting here enjoying my coffee with the biggest smile on my face because
Yeah,
never let
how
them
much more
know,
time do you
Sherry.
want to take to
Right
make
Never
on,
my
let
brother.
comeback?
let the big mouths talk and let my actions speak. He can talk all day long. Blah 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 blah. Keep the space up. You keep it up like
45 seconds for a
you're an
fucking
entertainer,
reburn.
sir.
Does that
You're an
even count?
entertainer.
Does that even count to take that long to come back? I'm not sure it counts. Take another 5 minutes, Sean. Have a good think. Scratch your head. Come up with a burn. Seriously.
America runs on Duncan, and I'm enjoying it right now, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to be dunking these balls in your mouth after the game, bro. How about that for a
Whoa.
burn? And that's rapid fire burning, Sean. Only the British can do that.
Yeah, I'm sure your balls are rapid fire burning. Keep it up, sir.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well done. Now you're talking. Now you're warming up.
They have ointments for that, sir.
What?
Oh, we woke Donna up. We woke Donna up. Come on, Donna. Hit that speaker button. Come back. I know you're driving. I don't know what you're doing, but come back to us.
I've just parked up.
She's been struggling with Wi-Fi because she's been driving, so she's been in and out of the space. You there, girl?
I'm here. I've dropped Max back off.
Okay.
I'm waiting to pick my boy up.
Hey, James.
He's not here yet.
Oh, you're waiting on him.
Yeah, I'm waiting on him.
All right.
Hey,
Very good.
Sherry. The best part is, and you just know he's nervous to play me because we say we're gonna play 3 games, right? And he snap picks like doesn't. There's no coin flip who picks first, and he just snap says his first game, just deuce to 7, and I just laugh because he picks my best game, the one that I was gonna pick. So I'm sitting here just laughing. He has no chance. He has no chance.
Yeah, but
Do all the side
guess what,
bets, all the
Sean?
side action,
Why don't
get
you
the
finish
bets
the
in.
story? You chose my second best game on your pick, dickhead. That's what I would have chosen.
Omaha, you're better. Yeah, you're in
Yeah,
trouble, buddy.
dude.
You're in trouble.
Ugh, I've watched you play, bro. You're over aggressive. You're a maniac. It's just not going to bode well for you.
Do we need to run the book? See who's up right now? It's probably you, actually, because
Yeah, I'm
I
up.
play so loose for the first couple of months with you guys. Not that I've tightened it up. I haven't. I'm just picking different spots now because I can assess everybody's play at this point. You know, I'm
Oh,
playing with the
listen
same
to him.
guys.
Listen to him.
I mean,
Assess everyone's play.
oh
Take
my
it.
God, you're one of the worst. You talk about over aggression. You just lead, and you tilt so
There's
easily.
only one man that's beaten me heads up thus far. One man, and that's Blitzy, baby. Everyone else has talked like you've talked, Sean. Guess what, Sean? Your little hero Coco is on the fucking run, mate. He started playing heads up. He lost the first of three. This is what I imagine will happen with you. You'll lose the first one. The embarrassment will just flood over you, and then it'll be excuse after excuse. Oh, I don't feel well. Oh, I've banged my elbow. I've lost my mouse. My foot hurts. That's all I ever hear. Excuses, excuses.
So
But yeah.
I've been in this game 20 plus years. I've had the privilege of seeing the best of the best of the best intimately play right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to pick Coco as my shining light to think that I'm worried about your heads up game, sir? Are you
Just saying.
insane? Are
All
you
I heard from
insane?
you guys is Coco's the best.
My
Coco's the best.
my limited dealing 20 years ago to Chip Reese makes me better than you inherently. And you pull Coco? This conversation is insulting to me, sir.
Listen, I
Insulting.
don't choose your heroes for you. You had a Coco banner up. There was fanfare. An English guy steps in the room. Everyone goes quiet. I kick the table over. I say, let's play some fucking cards.
I'm about to go on a Phil Hellmuth level rant of dropping names and just being upset with you right now.
Do it. Do it.
Apologies. Hold on. I'm getting a text from Phil Ivey. Be right back.
Yeah. This fucking guy swans around with skinny jeans and white pumps. And the fucking
And white
blazer.
pumps.
And he
Love
thinks
you.
he's fucking desperate Dan himself.
Hex, you are the best. White pumps. Oh my God. I love it so much.
Wears sunglasses in a casino. I bet he wears sunglasses in a casino as well. He's that
You're
guy, though.
forgetting his beautiful blue jacket.
No, I said the blazer. You're blinded by the pump comment.
Oh, okay.
That goddamn blazer. In fact, Sean, you're so confident, right? Let's up the ante. I destroy you, and you mail me that fucking blazer, and I'll film it myself burning it in my garden.
Oh my God.
No,
Come on. He's probably not even listening. We got to wait for him to get back here.
Oh, he's fucking listening.
no,
Know what?
no to explaining blazer.
Oh,
Oh, I'll burn that blazer. I'll burn it.
No,
There's not a goddamn thing anyone can do about it.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
So when you lose, I think in return you should be shipping me your favorite football uni, whatever
oh snap.
football shit you guys watch out there. Yeah, just ship me that soccer jersey so that I can burn it.
Yeah,
Arsenal.
it's Arsenal FC.
Perfect. Ship me your prized possession and I will burn
It's
it.
not my prized possession. It's a fucking.
Standing in my backyard with the American flag waving in the background.
Do,
Yeah, well,
do,
do you know what I'm going to
do.
do? I'm going to hire myself a British bulldog to take a dump on that blazer first before I burn it. How about that?
You know what's amazing about this is, and I no disrespect for Puppy because we love Puppy, but if Hex gets to come in December, you guys can exchange those items in person.
Hex, you don't have anyone who can watch your dog, or it'd be too much work for them.
No, he's too infirmed. He wouldn't last the kennels. He wouldn't make it out.
He needs tender love and care right now.
He's earned the right of a very comfortable retirement. He's been a very good companion.
Absolutely.
I would never dream about leaving him now.
Absolutely.
I haven't had a vacation in 3 years because of the dog.
You're a good pet owner. But let's get back to that blue blazer and that Arsenal jersey, shall we?
Well, it's a free roll, Sherry. What do you want from me? I could offer him anything. It doesn't matter. He's going to lose. It's the arrogance that's going to ruin him. As you know, I'm very modest myself, so this isn't a problem for me.
Oh, yes, very, very modest. You are the most modest guy in spaces.
Correct.
And I've got a hole in my head.
That sounds painful.
Do you need stitches?
I need a paramedic.
Oh, yeah. There she goes. Ambulance chasing again.
Luckily, when Sean goes into a coma of shame, his good lady wife, who's a fan favourite, to look after him. Because there's no the depression he's going to be in when I beat him, when I scoop him and take those 50 American dollars, which is about £3 sterling. I think that's the conversion rate.
Sean, if you lose, we have to listen to this guy for the next year about this crap.
He'll have to delete his account if he loses.
All right, that one was funny. I'll give him that one.
So help me God, Sean, if you lose to him.
His best bet is to get Blitzy to play me. He's pretty good.
I don't know. I think Sean can.
Sean is this is what's happened to Sean. He's hung around great players, and he thinks by osmosis he's become one. This is not how it goes. There's the difference. That's right, Sean. Sit in that corner again.
Hey, Kush, whenever you're connected, bud, go ahead, Kush.
That's not.
Yesterday, Hexy never showed up. Mr. McCormick showed up,
I
but
was
I'll
at
beat them
work.
both down.
I was at work, bro.
That's a horrible excuse. Come on.
Well, I've gone back to work. I tried early
Is
retirement.
Hex talking? I can't hear him.
Yes, he is talking.
All right, let me drop down.
Okay.
Is he
But
in the room? Of course he's talking. That's all you need to know.
Let's see if we can get Kush back up here. You there, Kush?
wow, this streamer's just won $20 million. Trainwrecks TV on slots.
Nice. Go ahead, Kush.
You're talking live Hex?
Yeah, man, watching the stream.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, he got the what was the game? It's I can't remember the game now, but it was 200,000x. He won.
Wow. That's crazy. Go ahead, Kush.
Had to be like a No Limit City or a
That was
hacksaw
it.
slot at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
it's got
limit
to be
city.
one of those to be at that high of a
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, name drop. You can go to Train's page, and yeah, you'll see that he follows me as well. But that's just another name I'm dropping.
Oh, does it ever end? Does it ever end?
Poor Kush is stuck in the matrix trying to get up here. That's terrible. Let's try it
It's
again.
glitching today.
And Hex, I will say this. Actually, it would have been a real cool collab. We followed each other and talked about like kick and what we could maybe do with like poker, and like there might be some opportunities there. I'm just trying to get more people involved in poker, my dude. I don't care if they're slot streamers, table
No, I love
streamers.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
get them all into poker. Fuck it, chess. I don't care. Cross
He
promote our
does
game and
play.
everything else.
He does play. He does play.
Kush, I sent you a co-host invitation. Maybe that'll help you get up on the panel.
Do you know Eddie as well? Then, Sean.
I
The
don't.
owner.
I have not had the pleasure of meeting Eddie yet.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've only talked to Trainwrecks online. We've never met in person yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope to maybe see him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe at TwitchCon, or if he still goes to those or
No,
something. I don't
he
know.
doesn't.
He doesn't right
He
now.
got
Yeah,
he got sick that time, and he's I think he's agoraphobic now. He doesn't like to leave the house.
I mean that would check
Oh,
out a little bit.
Yeah,
that's sad. All right, Kush, are you there? He shows as a listener to me. I
Same on my
invited
page.
I
Yeah,
invited you to
I'm mine.
yeah.
Okay.
I see him as speaker.
Kush, I invited you to be co-host. If you can hear me, just accept the co-host so we can get you on the panel and get you out of the matrix.
Be funny if you're talking and we see his little icon, but he's not even actually there. It's all glitched out. He might
That's
not
so
even be there. You
he
know.
might not be. No, you're right. He might not be. Oh, there he is.
I'm surprised you haven't got Drake into this shit yet, Sean, because he's a DJ.
Hey, I'm close. He gambles with us at our properties, and I know I know the people that he runs with in the online circles. So yeah, that would be an awesome person to get involved in poker. But he doesn't play the game, from everything I've heard. But it makes sense. He's like a quick gambler. He loves
Yeah,
roulette.
he's
He
roulette. Yeah,
loves how fast something is. I get it. Like those guys, they don't to think to sit down for 3-4 hour session to what win a couple 100,000 if that in a game versus they could do that in 2 blackjack hands or 1 roulette spin or it's just you can't create that level that poker can that you can in table games. Obviously it's just you just can't, or slots, and a lot of these guys do that, like Drake plays slots too.
yeah. He collabed with Cody from Canada and Rothstein. What they do is they turn up, they set up the stream. He gets fucked up on that on whiskey and that. What's that pipe they smoke? Hacker pipe.
Yeah, hookah. Yeah, I don't do it, but yeah, I don't even like it, but I don't like the smell of it. And people do. I don't know. I
It's
don't
weird.
smoke though anything, so I don't, I would I guess if you're gonna start with something, you wouldn't start with the big smoke shit. I don't know anything about it though, but yeah, it's pronounced hookah.
Yeah,
All
but he
right,
does do.
Kush, are you there?
Yes, good morning. How's everyone doing?
There you go. Good. Go ahead, bud.
I
Oh, I
just
can't get
wanted
on
to go
Twitch.
ahead and
Twitch.
talk
I got
shit
down.
to the Brit and to Mr. McCormick. Mr. McCormick showed up yesterday. Hex didn't. He said he was at work, allegedly. But the
Yeah,
game's kind of
I
dying
tried
off. I
early
was trying to talk
retirement.
shit to get.
It
Yeah,
didn't.
I was trying to just bait everyone into the game because they haven't been running that often.
I mean, I can't say that I can always play, but at $20 a pop, you guys got me for life. We can keep playing these.
Yeah, you're always welcome, Mr. McCormick. And then as far as trainers, I don't even think that guy leaves his house, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're just talking about that. He's a little bit agoraphobic these days.
Yeah, but that guy, I don't know if the money's real or not, but he's a real DJ.
Well, he went on. He boycotted because he's part owner or percentage owner of Kick, and he
Yeah.
boycotted it because of the bot farms and everything else, and the people who fill balance, who lie about it. He wanted more transparency, so he boycotted for like 4 or 5 months, but he's back now. So.
I mean,
I used to
anybody who
love watching
doesn't.
his.
Oh, go ahead, Kush.
No, I was just saying, I used to love to watch his streams. He used to do the craziest giveaways I've ever seen, like 50K a day. And I didn't know if they were real, you know what I mean? But I imagine they're real because he prides himself on his integrity and transparency. So,
Dude,
but he does the craziest giveaways.
I tell you, he does $1 million giveaways live, straight to your crypto wallet. It's not through the casino, so it's definitely real. You could follow it on the blockchain if you really wanted to test it, but he does it. You can see he physically shows himself doing it and giving it away to these people's addresses, and he gets them on the phone sometimes as well. The winners.
Well,
I mean,
that's awesome.
I've put in for 2 or 3 of them. I've never been lucky enough to win because he goes by viewership of hours, and I got in the early days I used to watch him quite a lot, or I'd just leave it on and just go about my day,
Right.
lock up the hours, and if you get enough hours, it converts to thousands of dollars. So if
Yeah,
I'd have
because
won,
you'll see your watch time and then he'll boost it up.
that's
You're
it.
like, oh,
Yeah, I worked out that my watch time would have got me 25K if I got chosen, which is one of the larger ones for a giveaway.
Definitely worth a try.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, I support the channel anyway, so you might as well.
Have you looked at the data?
yeah, imagine being,
Uh,
one of the viewers in a third world country and the guy sends you 5K. Yeah, that could change your life.
yeah, dude. And the thing is, you see Twitter, people are like telling him, "Yeah, thank you very much. You changed my life." The rest of it, 15K to some people is just gets them out of debt. You know, pay the bills. You know, it's massive for some people.
Get their car
You
fixed,
Yeah,
whatever they need.
You mentioned Cody Burnett earlier, Exposed,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I remember him giving like it was like 500,000, whatever the currency is in the Philippines, to somebody. It was like the equivalent of like 40,000. My numbers are probably wrong here, but anyways, the guy like broke down in a way on his stream that was it was just so beautiful to watch. So
Yeah.
it is nice to see that good can come out of these things, but it comes at a price. And you mentioned it before, like a lot of these streamers are working for the casinos. They're getting balances every single day that are reloaded, like in ways that none of us can think of. And their jobs are you have to play a minimum of X amount of hours and stream it, and then you get your fill balances each day. So you're literally shilling for the casinos. Which, don't get me wrong, I work for a casino. I come on here and I say, hey, go check out the Aria poker tournament. So I'm not judging in any way, but a lot of people don't realize where the money comes from, and it seems like overinflated wins, and it's a little predatory. So like there's got to be a balance here, and I think Trainwrecks is really cool for exposing, for making it transparent that what's going on, and saying, hey, no, we get this money to gamble, like, and you're going to lose if you use your own, which is such a good message that most of them do. They say, hey, if you gamble, you will lose. Do it as entertainment. So it's give and take, but those beautiful moments are freaking awesome that they can give back in that way.
There's a multitude of ways. I mean, a lot of them are. I mean, if you remember Rothstein in the early days when they used to be able to advertise the links, he was an affiliate of about literally 60 to 70 casinos online, and he'd get loss percentages of anyone that uses his code, right?
Oh,
And
he's
he
rich,
said,
rich.
yeah,
Ross is rich, rich.
yeah, yeah. I think he's hundreds of millions rich. And he said, look, the reason I can gamble like this is because I'm covered from my affiliate money. And now he's got a kick deal as well, which is similar, not quite as good as Trainwreck's one. I mean, I believe that they get, like you said, they get paid, let's just say 100 million a year, and they've got to stream 50 hours a week, and they get to keep what's left from that 100 million that they've got to wager.
Exactly. XQC probably has one of the biggest deals. I think he's over 100
Yeah,
million. I
yeah.
know Aiden Ross had a big deal, but that one might
80.
have kind of, yeah, Aiden Ross's deal was absurd. But he doesn't stream that much anymore. At least he doesn't gamble stream. So maybe he's pivoted a little bit.
Well, he does.
Um,
He's a terrible gambler. He's a born loser.
Oh, obviously he's terrible, especially blackjack. At least he started to kind of learn it as it was coming along. But man, he was so bad. He'd split like fours versus an eight and shit. Like he just didn't know what he was doing. But again, when you're given that money, you can make those dumb mistakes. But then people are watching you, learning what you're doing. Hopefully, learning and not doing what you're doing. But yeah, it's that online world is crazy, and people don't realize how many millions. Like Snoop Dogg has a deal now with Rubet. Drake has a deal with Stake. This person has it. The sports people all over the world, like American sports people, we don't even know that they're doing this in other countries because it's not legal in America. Like a lot of your sports, heroes, they're doing deals in other countries with these casinos. It's crazy large. It's big, big money.
Mental.
Shuck, how you doing?
Doing well. I just came up to give Donna a little kiss.
Hey,
Love you too, my darling. But
good
that
stuff.
bike's still gonna go sideways up your ass.
What the fuck?
I love it. Coming in hot.
And just listening to Hex talk on Twitter.
Well, we have a little message in the chat from Juan, and it is Hex wishes he could fit into skinny jeans.
How does he know that I'm not a skinny little model? How does he know?
There's no wishing about it. Hex definitely wears skinny jeans.
Not true, guys. It's not true.
I'm just
But do
concerned with
you,
how much he talks about my legs.
He probably buys them with the fucking holes cut in them too.
but does he wear them with shoes with no socks?
Yeah, Converse.
Sean wears Italian slip-ons, guys, with skinny jeans. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. The case I do rest.
I've
Oh,
told you it's not skinny jean season anymore. It's grey fucking joggers. Get it right.
Apparently, I'm Gray Jogger approved. Take it as you wish.
It's funny how you knew
That
what
means it
she was
hangs down to
talking
your
about.
kneecaps.
Yeah, Sean can't fill joggers. I have that on good authority. I won't say his name either, the guy who told me. Sure.
Don't ever fucking say my name again. Do you understand me?
What are you going to do about it? I'm going to bust your fucking beak. Have you seen
I'm
that
gonna
cartoon? Have you
post
seen that
about it on
cartoon?
Twitter.
Have you seen that cartoon, Daffy Duck, where he gets his beak spun around his head when they give him a right hook? That's what's going to happen to you.
Good old cartoons.
Good old days.
Okay, do you guys want to hear Donna's song that a special friend made? You guys haven't heard this one yet.
Who's the person who makes it?
Well, the person does not want it to be disclosed yet because they want to have fun releasing these songs, and they want to do some other ones. So we promised them that we would not. We would let him announce who.
Okay,
Is it
so it's a
code
him.
name?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're investing. So it's a him. Keep going.
Well, he may
That rules out Sean.
identify as a him, but
That rules out Sean straight away.
So anyway, let me pull this up real quick so we can hear Donna's song.
Hey, Sherry, while you pull that up, can I brag on my wife real quick?
Please, of course.
So the good Dr. McCormick opened her emails last night and got an interesting email from the United States government that $153,000 worth of her student loans have been forgiven. So I feel like this is kind of nice. Like this is just money in
What?
our pot. Yeah, seriously, the program is rolled out. She's a teacher. It's a program for public workers. It's not like the government just gave somebody willy nilly. It's literally she's a autism teacher for the state of Nevada and she's worked for the state here in Massachusetts for her whole life. So yes, this program forgave her
I thought
loans and
she
I'm
was.
fully supportive of it.
I thought she was like a surgeon in the private sector.
Love
I was
that.
going crazy there.
All right, you guys, here we go. This is called Donna the Craze. There you go. Good job to our composer. We appreciate you. Hope you're listening.
What song was that?
That was Donna's song.
I couldn't hear the
Oh,
audio. Can anyone else hear the audio?
Could you not?
I couldn't
And
hear the words. It was just like it's just heard like metal
I
band.
could hear it. It just wasn't very like clear, but
Did it say wind your neck in at any point? Because if it didn't say wind your neck in, I feel like it's missing something.
maybe it should be redone a little bit so the words could be heard better too. Maybe I'll send them a DM.
I couldn't really hear your one either, to be honest.
it might
Well,
have just been you playing it to the speakers.
and
Yeah.
the problem is I can't play the original file. Like I had to record it on my iPad so I could replay it. So
Uh,
hopefully I'll get permission or access to play just the original file, which will be A1 quality, right?
yeah.
So there you go.
That's what's going wrong then. I think we're listening to a recording of a recording.
Could
Wait, is
be.
it an AI version like the Sherry the Chair song, or is it an actual song?
They're all AI versions.
So it's something related to spaces.
Yes.
Oh yes, okay. I can't wait to hear the whole thing.
Hey, before we get too far off topic, I wanted to tell Sean congratulations for his wife. I know that the teacher PSLF programs can be a pain in the butt to get through, but it's part of like what you sign up for when you go to be a teacher. So I'm working through that stuff myself just because like it's part of what when you get your student loans, like it's told to you, you can go through this program if you teach for 10 years. So shout out to that.
Yeah, yeah, and I appreciate that. And the messed up thing about the program is it's like you don't know when you sign up which way the government's going to turn, and like this might go off the table. They always thought that that was a possibility, and it's sad. It probably will be towards the end. Like funding will either run out or something will be, something will change. But yeah, it's been a long time for sure, and I appreciate that, man. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were obviously paying the loans, no problem, but I think this is something our educators should have. Like our teachers shouldn't be paying for their own education. They're literally educating the youth of tomorrow. They're essential, and anybody that's essential should not, have to
Yeah.
pay for that knowledge.
Hey,
Nurses too.
John.
Wait,
Nurses
Hey,
as well.
John, if I send you these, DM you these files, do you think you can see if you can figure out a way for us to play the original file on the space?
Um, you can send me a DM and I'll see what I can do because I do some
Okay.
audio stuff in class and we can work on it.
Dinner on
i-
Sean this December.
Okay,
is
thanks.
it PSL like something you do after you've already gone through like
No,
college? Or
so PSLF is the Public Student Loan Forgiveness Program for anybody who works for like the government or in government programs of high need or education in a school that's high need. So I've got the same thing going. I've made 11 years of payments, even though I was only supposed to make 10 years of payments, and they still haven't sent me the stuff for it. Like it's just one of those. I know that student loan forgiveness can be a complicated conversation. People have a lot of feelings different ways about it, but like PSLF is, when you sign up for it that that is supposed to be part of the program. So like they're going to forgive part of it. So it's not like you're asking to them to forgive loans that you signed up for and just don't want to pay. It's part of the agreement, right?
I
So
could see that for schools and public education. That makes sense. But people want like student loan forgiveness for like their women's studies degree they
yeah,
got.
yeah.
Then no.
So yeah, I don't want to speak on any of that stuff. I'm just talking about the specific one for teachers. Is like I'm in the process of that. So they were supposed to have forgiven mine like 8 months ago. And if I'm being honest, I probably could have just paid off the whole thing. But as a matter of principle, I was like, I earned this by teaching for 10 years, so I shouldn't have to pay all of it off. So,
Well,
but
and
Damn,
we'll go.
damn, Wolfie.
oh,
Damn, Wolfie, why'd you say women's studies like that? Like you had that in the clip. Damn, man.
Yeah, he's gonna come in and shit on it. What the
well,
hell, Wolfie?
I'm going to say that, we want good teachers and we have to have incentives because, that's not an easy profession. And so those teachers go into those loans with the understanding that they can ask for forgiveness. And so it's a great program to,
Well, if it works, because here this
well,
not and then
that's
not to.
bureaucracy of the government,
Right.
right?
Not to complain. And I don't want this to sound like a bitch session because it is what it is. But like I've overpaid by about $7,000 so far that I'm hoping that I will get that money back because if you miss a payment in the middle, you have to start all over because it's all about consecutive number of payments made. So
Right.
like I refuse to not make a payment right now, even though I've paid more than I should, just because I want to make sure that like they take
It goes
anyway.
through.
So I'm hoping that I get that money back, but like we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting a workout in, so that's why I said what I said. It was all my T levels being high
Wolfie,
right
you're
now.
doing fine. You didn't say anything wrong, Wolfie.
No, listen, when your T levels get high, you say some crazy things. That's what I've heard. So I totally
That's
get
what
it,
I've
Wolf.
heard
Oh
too.
yeah,
But Wolfie, what time do you restart today, my friend?
12 p.m.
Let's go.
And took some like melatonin last night. Got 10 hours of sleep after I told you I slept an hour the night before, so I'm feeling amazing.
Good job, Wolf. Good luck, my friend.
So John, we paid I think we're 7 years in, and it was forgiven. So yeah, I hope it works out for you, my dude. But I say this as complete comedy. Let me set the stage first. We live in a swing state, and I think the government didn't want to miss a shot that said, on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, your loans have been forgiven. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist here. It just seems the timing is very, very on point, on brand.
Yeah, so I kind of thought that was what was going on too, because earlier in the year they shut down the entire office for like 2.5 months, and I said they're probably, like you couldn't do anything with it, and I said they're probably doing it so that they can like bulk forgive a bunch of stuff, so that it looks like and they can say in a talking point that we forgave this much stuff.
Yeah,
But
because they
anyway,
have no others. But we're moving along, Sean McCormick. You're always bringing up politics.
No, I
We're
am not.
fucking
Don't you
moving
dare.
along here.
Don't you dare.
You know you do. It's
I
in the
do not.
recorded
Don't you
space. You
dare.
Oh,
can go back at
yeah,
it in the
Sean, you're
morning.
you're the most political person I know, Sean. I swear. It's like every time it's
No,
like,
no, no.
oh,
Wolfie, the hot lamp's
well.
still on you. You're not going to be able to pivot. Somebody else can pivot, but you can't pivot. No, no, no.
I just had to put that out there for the fun of it. Oh,
I got
too
in trouble
funny.
last week because I tweeted about how I don't like politicians saying one thing and then coming to the school and using it during an election year. And like my school board, one of the members got really mad at me, and I told him that he can't be mad while I do my private time, deal with it. But
This is this is the only thing political I'll ever say, like really say.
Lies.
I just want to go back to a time where the candidates just lie about their policies and not dirty lie about each other. Like I just miss those days. Like just lie to me about what you're going to do over the next 4 to 8 years. That's fine. But
Yeah,
all this
make some
lobbing
empty
of grenades.
promises, right?
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
some
make
empty
empty promises. That
promises.
we're used to that. But this lobbing of grenades that are now like nukes being sent to each other. Like we're all supposed to be anticipating bombshells being dropped about both main candidates right now.
It's
Come
so
on, I don't want to.
stupid.
Nobody wants to hear this shit. Just get back to running the country.
I know that's right. I see Bathwater for Buy-ins has joined us. I'm glad you did. Um, I'm just going to leave it at that. I was going to say something else, but I'm just going to stay on a
Well,
good
well, well,
on a
Sher.
good path today.
Once the enemy of the troll accounts, now you've fallen in love with one.
Well,
Oh,
it may be changing if they don't fucking knock it off, but I was trying not to say that. But anyway,
so one slip through the net, huh? Okay.
um, and I love that troll account just because of how it was born. It was amazing. Um, for those that don't know, we were doing an Ash Dash interview, and I said something to her like, you could. She was telling us about getting DMs and people wanting her bath water, like toe pictures. Well, they want her bath water, like creepy shit. And I said, well, shit, maybe you should sell it to them, bath waters for buy-in. And so within less than 5 minutes, that little old troll account was created, which has been fun, but stepping over the line,
Hey,
maybe.
oh, hey, Snoop. I mean, bathwater. How's it going?
Oh, anyway.
He's 80% of the burners. FYI.
For sure.
Well, I think there's a short list of, who they are, and we all know who they are. So here we are.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Sounds like yeah, and I keep I keep blocking them, and they have to create a new one to come into my spaces because I block them. And oh darn.
Hey, bathwater. Get your little groupies together and make a skinny jeans account for Sean. And a song, skinny jeans, something like that.
Yeah, at least he can fit in skinny jeans. That's something you'll
Yeah,
never
well,
want to do.
unfortunately for you, Wolfie, Juan's beat you to it on that gag.
Oh, dang it.
Juan was coming in hot with that.
Juan, it's pronounced, Sherry.
Oh, here we go again with how to pronounce the poor man's name. And you
I
guys
also
already know
know
I
how to
suck
say.
at pronouncing names. So you're not dragging me into that bullshit, Hex.
I'm just saying, he told me you have to pronounce it correctly, otherwise it's rude.
Well, that is your middle name, I think.
Rude boy.
I like the pronunciation Juan better.
Oh, Wolfie said Jew, Sherry. He
Oh,
said
come
Jew.
on. I
That's
said
okay.
Jew on.
I'm going to tell you something. I am not politically correct. So, guess what? Without being targeting a person in the space, I could give a shit what you say. But if you say it to a person, then I care.
Well, he said it's a Juan. He said Jew on. I mean, what the fuck?
Hex.
It's like saying fish on. I mean, it's just not right.
That was trying a little too hard, anyways. You get an F for that one, Wolfie. Sorry, Wolfie.
Is that a -1 point?
It's a -1.5.
All right.
Can't split points.
All right.
I hate when I invent a system and everyone fucks with it, especially if I
Oh,
like things.
Chirp, for the record, I'm going to be doing 2 slot pools. One, the weekend of like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th of November, and then WPT time if you're interested.
Yeah, I'll be in. Just let me know.
Yep, I'll do it. Welcome, Steve. What you got?
Good morning. I just wanted to come up and say good morning and just get a
Good morning.
general question. What's the drama or the shit I need to be following today?
Good
Uh,
morning.
Sean split his skinny jeans in an embarrassing fashion in front of the whole casino. He's now in hiding.
You are obsessed with my legs, sir.
Skinny jeans, skinny jeans.
It's still early yet, Steve, but keep your boots on.
Oh, shit. Well, I can't tell you that tomorrow we're going to interview Carrie Jane. She is the um, director of poker at the Hippodrome in London. Should be a good interview. She's going to tell us all about the upcoming events in London. It's kind of going to be a British invasion with Donna and Hexy Poo and Carrie Jane and myself.
Hey, skinny
I'm
jeans.
out. I'm
You should
out.
tune in, skinny
You
jeans.
said you
Quite
said
regularly.
Hex. I'm fucking out.
No, you said Hexy Poo. That's my professional name when I'm a radio DJ.
You have a nice profile picture on your other Hexy Poo account. Looks just like you.
Do you know what?
Little Red
Do you
Riding
know what's
Hood.
messed up, right? Do you know what's messed up? That
One
that
plus
Hexy
1
Poo
point.
that Hexy Poo troll account was created, and I wanted to use the name on the 8-game mix, and I felt bad, so I had to ask the permission of the troll to use my troll name for my account, and they were gracious enough to let me do it.
Now that's funny. I
Yeah,
didn't know you
I
did
felt
that.
obliged to ask because they come up with it, right? So can't just steal stuff, but they were cool. They allowed me to use it.
That's funny that you asked him. I love it.
Yeah, well, Jordtopian used to be Hextopian, Symptopian. He ran off and fell in love with Jordan. It's fucking scandalous. Little turncoat fuck. I paid $10 to Slay to get him out of fucking Slay jail as well. And he does this to me. Fucking
Little
piece.
turncoat fuck. That's my quote of the morning right there.
There you go. You can have that one.
I have somebody at my front door. You guys talk amongst yourself for a minute, please.
Wait, Hex, you're saying Slay blocked you? Is that what you're
No,
saying? I was.
Slay blocked Symptopian because he's been a prick.
Back to the weights, Wolfie.
Yeah, and
Oh, trust me, I'm on the wait, bro. I was finished my set and then I waited to ask. Don't
I
worry.
paid his bail bond to get him out of Slay jail. He was locked up in the cells.
Wolfie, how many blinds you got going into today?
Only 25, but
That's
I sure feel good
that's
about it.
plenty.
So
That's plenty. Just be patient.
You little liar, Wolf. You told us it was
Yeah.
30 yesterday.
Well, it depended when they started the level.
Oh,
So they ended up starting at 3K, 6K instead of 25.5.
that's
So
In a lot of the daily events or the 2-day events that are going on in Vegas, are they usually 30-minute levels? Is that typically what you see?
40 minutes. It's usually 40.
Damn.
Usually 40. And dude, what's crazy, right? It's 100K guaranteed. So by the time my by the time day 1B was done, they had hit the guarantee, right? But yesterday, they had 305 runners, so they literally doubled the prize pool in one day yesterday.
Damn.
That's how fucking busy and how many people were fucking just rebuying and shit. So it's a 200K prize pool right now.
That explains the T levels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, around here it's 15-minute levels, 20-minute levels for the mid buy-ins, and then for the quote monthly deep stack, they do a 30-minute level. And
crazy.
it's
That's
like a
hyper.
miracle.
That's hyper, and then 2 turbos beyond that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's called Eric Person Maverick Gaming.
Oh, okay.
No, the
Oh, of
casinos just want
course.
your rake. They want you in and out. They want to get you the
Yeah,
fuck out of the way to open the next table.
that's a
Yeah,
good
I
point.
mean it's 35% rake, 40% rake on the low buy-in, and then it's
Ah,
the best rake you get is around 25, I think.
That's
oh,
fucking highway robbery,
yeah,
Horrible.
40% rake.
that's
Well, they
disgusting.
call it dealer appreciation, so
What?
they get around regulation against it.
Yeah, well, I would never
48%
play.
rake? Is that what I
It's
just
for the
heard?
super small buy-in guys. I'm not like trying to say they're literally just
I
doing it
give
for
it.
every event, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
It doesn't matter how big the buy-in is. That's fucking great. And how much is the small buy-in? Like 50, 40,
Yeah, so
60?
for example, right? So if you were to look at $100 buy-in tournament, they're going to have 75 bucks go to the prize pool, and you'll start with, I want to say it's 15,000 chips, maybe 10,000. But then they also do a $10 quote dealer appreciation add-on that gives you an additional 5,000 chips. And when you rebuy, if you rebuy, you do not get access to that additional 5,000 chip head start. So essentially, everybody has to buy in for that appreciation. So you're in for what's $35 in rake off of 110 buy-in. And then at the $50 level, it's 35 goes to prize pool out of the 50, and you can do a $10 appreciation add-on. So out of your 60 bucks that you give them, only 35 goes to the prize pool.
Disgusting.
Gotcha.
That's Eric Person.
That's disgusting.
I mean, what about the cash games? They still got that like spread limit thing going on, or
Yeah, I mean they got that double drop thing going. So the rake here is as bad as it's going to get, and unfortunately, Washington State also has like the most restrictive rules towards poker in general. So you're only allowed to do 3 bets. You can only max bet $300, and that's at any stake. So even if we're playing 5-10, your max bet can only be 300 bucks. So it gets pretty ridiculous.
so weird.
Yeah, they say it's because of the Native American, protecting their poker games. The only problem with that is 100% of the Native American casinos here closed their poker rooms in COVID. So they're all gone, yet the rules remain. And the lobbying here from, I guess, their group is very, very strong. So these rules aren't going to change. I think we're also the only.
Okay,
Wait.
they're
If there's
not
no
all.
poker
Not all the
room,
poker rooms have closed. The Quest in Spokane still has their poker room.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, I'm over on the other side of it.
Yeah,
So
and
like, yeah.
oh okay.
there's a couple. There's the Quest, and I can't remember the other one, but um, I don't know if the other one has a poker room. I don't remember, but the Quest, because I play there, the Quest definitely still has their poker room on the Indian reservation. But the problem, stems back long ago. The Indian tribes um, lobbied and got the laws put into place that they wanted, right? To do what they wanted to do in the gambling world. And now other people are looking at that going, wait a minute, we're getting screwed by these laws. And, they don't have the money to fight or lobby to change them. So it's kind of like a vicious circle.
Yeah, and I mean it's so funky in Washington State. I believe it's the only state and territory that will not be allowed to have Club WPT Gold or whatever they're calling it. So like any form of online poker here is an automatic felony. It's just wild.
Yeah, I was trying to tell folks that this summer when they started this Space Jam League, they wanted me to play, but I was going to be at my daughter's in Spokane for like 2.5 months or whatever. And I was like, I can't play ACR in Washington State. Like it's literally illegal. And I had to,
Yeah, don't even VPN. That's not worth
yeah.
it.
And so I had to actually pull up from the ACR website, that it showed that you cannot play ACR in Washington State. But yeah, it's
And
pretty
Nevada.
crazy. And there's another one.
Well, no, they say that Sean, but I can still play from Las Vegas, and they don't let me not
They
play,
they
and I've
don't
never
they
had a
don't
problem with it.
geolocate. They don't do anything of that sort. It's just in their terms and conditions, just like it is with Washington State. You can load up ACR in Washington State, but it's technically a Class C felony.
And guess what?
Well, do
If
you
you
think,
win,
Sean, that like with me,
go ahead.
do you think, Sean, with me being in Nevada, like if I get a big score, they might try and be like shitty about it and be like, "Oh, you're in Nevada, you can't cash out this 10K or something."
ACR, I mean, my guess is no. But they have to have it in the terms and conditions just because it keeps them safe at the state level. Granted, they're not regulated in the United States, so it's a funny line that they draw. But sure enough, right in the TOCs, it says
Well, I mean, because that's the thing, though, too. Like, I have my ACR account with my residence as Henderson, Las Vegas, Nevada. So like, should I not have that? Should I be worried about that? Should I change it?
I'm just saying, I'm not risking anything. If I win 30 grand on a site and all of a sudden they're like, oh, but you were playing in a state you're not supposed to be playing, you're not getting your 30 grand. Like, I'm not even taking that chance.
I mean, guys, we can draw parallels to when ACR pros and other site pros from other sites are in Las Vegas playing during the World Series, and suddenly they're playing on their site. So it's not like they don't know that it's going on.
Oh, you know what's funny? I know Jeff Boski bagged in my flight. I could literally ask him today, and hopefully he'll just give me a straight answer. Because I know he plays in Vegas. I'm like, hey Jeff, look, I play on ACR. Like, if I get a big score, like, do I need to be worried about my address actually being on there, or should I change it? Like, hopefully he's not a dick
I
about it.
spoke to someone about this about it was a site I'm not going to mention, but I was like, hey man, you have your ambassadors in America, like literally live streaming, which means they're VPNing, and you're not saying anything yet. If a customer of yours does that, you ban their account. Like, think about the hypocrisy of that. And of course it's met with like, we don't know you, why would we we don't care about you, why would we ever answer to you? But which is fine, but it's like it's a really weird stance. Like, we were talking about slot streamers earlier. I've seen some of these guys playing on Stake and others, and you just know they're in Miami when they're playing, like Aiden Ross and others. Like, okay, so they're looking the other way, but also at the same time, they could punish you because you're not Aiden Ross or these other people. So they could seize your funds and stuff like that. But again, ACR wouldn't be that one. It would be somebody else in this space. ACR is just they don't. I don't want to say they don't care, but they care about their poker players, so they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I whenever I do win on ACR, I typically just P2P it anyway. I've never hit a score big enough where I'm like, okay, how do I get this off the site? Typically, I just P2P everything I want to sell. So
Definitely not here
that
to
hasn't come up yet.
definitely not here to shill for an online site I don't play on or know myself. But from everything I've heard, like the withdrawal deposit systems on online poker and online casinos is just it like it's 100-fold that I was used to pre Black Friday. It's just like, I guess it's easier and people do get paid these days. That was always my biggest concern. But literally, I haven't played online poker since. I mean, I guess I played WSOP.com in the state a couple times, but I haven't played in years.
Mind if I ask a just a random question?
Well, we love random
Yes.
questions.
Yes. It's not so random. It's about rake at a table. So I've noticed that when, kind of playing like the rap games maybe on the weekend or whatever, and it gets down to, 5 players or so, there's always somebody at the table that requests or makes a or asks about the rake, and there's always a reduction. So I guess my question is, if that reduction isn't requested, the the casino or the poker room can just continue to, I guess, overcharge for their rake, and that's just fine. Is that how the law is written?
They
I'm just curious.
can, but also some rooms will just do it automatically now. But sometimes it's like, oh, I forgot, I didn't notice. Thanks for the reminder.
Jumbotron.
So it gives an out to keep taking a
Everyone,
sub
look at
break.
the
Yes.
jumbotron. Look at the jumbotron.
I guess I can field that question. I don't know who said it though. Who asked the
Look,
question? Was that
look at the
Hey,
Steve?
jumbotron
Sean, it
first.
was Steve, the bird.
Sorry, guys. Like everybody's listener on my screen, even Hex, which I wish he was because I don't want to hear his voice. But
Jumbotron, jumbotron.
I can feel that question. I guess there are two styles of taking rake. There's rake that's done per player, like California style, where it's just if you have 8 players, you pull the full rake every time, and regardless of how much is in the pot. And then there's the pot based system, like Nevada does, and most of the world does, which is like 10% of the pot, maxed at like Nevada's $5, others are 6 and 7, whatever. Um, so for the most part, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but those pricing indexes are set until someone asks for a reduction. Like, hey, we're shorthanded, can we get a reduction? Yeah, that's kind of the norm. Whether right or wrong, I don't know. That's just the system as it stands right now. We don't flex between the two systems of 10% max $5 and how many players are at the table. It's just based on such. But every time someone asks us for a reduction, I mean, it's based on business volumes, whether the reason why we don't auto do it, I guess, and I've proposed this myself many times that maybe we should auto do it so the dealers don't have to ask us and it slows down the process. And then what are they taking on that hand while they're asking and stuff like that. So there's definitely pros and cons to both sides. But inherently, like we're a 24-hour business. So like asking for a rake reduction at 6 a.m. is inherently different than asking for a rake reduction at 3 p.m. So we need to make those decisions. So we empower our supervisors and managers to be able to make good faith decisions on what the rake should be at the time. I hope that made sense.
Hey,
Dude, that was yeah.
yeah,
Thanks,
Sean,
appreciate
yeah, Sean, what if someone asks for a rake increase? What do you do there?
This is what I do right here.
If you really want to know the answer to the question, look at the jumbotron, everyone.
Look at Sean is
You're on
cutting
an
the
app.
rug in the
You're not in
jumbotron.
show business, you fuck. You're not a corporation, you fucking idiot.
Has
Jumbotron.
everyone here heard the new Jungle Butt song?
It's hilarious.
Sean, have you heard the new Jungle
No,
Butt
I'm
song?
still living in the classics. Sorry, but I would love to hear it. Maybe he'll send it along to me.
Yeah, I can DM it to you. I have a link for it.
It's
If
okay.
someone,
You can
but
listen to it in the jumbotron. Just press the play button.
what do you mean the Jumbotron? That's a picture of Sherry and Sean dancing at the disco.
Sherry and Sean. I thought it was just Sean.
The worst part is he picks a gif where the haircut is straight out of London. You just know that dude is a Brit. Like, come on, man.
It's fucking
Dude
what's
looks
his name?
like a Beatle or from the Monkees or something like that. You know he's British.
What's that guy called? The chat host guy. Who is it, Sherry?
the the
Not Jimmy
chat.
Kim. It's the other guy. Not Jimmy Kimmel, the other one.
Oh, it's oh my goodness. I can't think of his name.
Oh, that's gonna do my head.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Juan has come up with a meme. The British invasion with Hex and Donna. There you go. I put in the jumbo.
Jerry, I already put in a call to the Department of Homeland Security based on you telling me that he's coming to town in December. So we're on high alert.
I want you guys to go back to that bet and make that bet so we could say that it's in a recorded space.
I mean, maybe we should just, if he's coming to town, maybe we should play heads up in person. Then I could
Oh.
really twist the screws.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see the pain in your eyes, Sean. That would be.
Hey Sean, I DM'd you the song just now. Whenever you want to listen to it, I'm not really supposed to be just DMing it to everyone because I tipped Mike for the getting the file, but you're the poker boss. You deserve
Oh
to have a
my
link to the
god!
drive. Oh my
He's
God,
just
Wolfie
another bare
just
bum in the
fucking
shower,
bowing down.
Wolfie. He's not a big deal. He wears a blazer and skinny jeans. He hasn't got a cape. He's not fighting.
Then why just name the poker boss, Hex? It's pretty. It's a big title.
There's not a fucking Sean symbol that lights up the sky when someone pays too much rake. He's just another bare bum in the shower.
I disagree. I've actually met Sean in real life, Hex, and he's way more pleasant than you will ever be
Well, you
to
can't say
communicate
that,
with.
buddy. You can't say that yet. You have to reserve that judgment.
Man of the people.
You have to reserve that judgment. I am delightful in person.
No, I'm just talking about how I've met him in person and on Spaces, and how I just have met you on Spaces, and I'm just imagining how you are in real life. Until you
Well, I'm
come, you're right.
sure.
Until you come.
You're going to be...
Well, I'm sure, Hex, you've seen many bare bums in your life.
Yeah, I have, yeah. I used to play a lot of rugby. We have communal baths in rugby. Everyone, 15 men covered in mud in a massive bath together. I've seen many, many bare bums.
You left everybody speechless, Hex, with that one.
I got asked a question. I'm always honest.
Do you want to go back to telling us the story about you making out with your soldier buddy or what?
No, it wasn't a soldier buddy. It was a armed response metropolitan policeman.
All right.
And
Wait,
I can't remember. I
it's
can't
true,
remember
Hex.
the story completely because I made it up on the spot.
Hex, I'm really sorry for everything that I've ever said to you. I didn't know that you were LGBT. I'm really sorry. I
Now
didn't
you
mean
know.
it.
Now you know.
Wow. I take back everything I said about you. You're fabulous, wonderful, and
Thank you.
fantastic, and
Thank you.
beautiful, and
Thank you.
amazing. And you're totally not an asshole at all. Not at
There you
all.
go.
What's he going to do when he finds out the truth, and who's going to tell him?
Don't. I'm getting. I can say whatever I like now. Wolfie's just giving me the card, right? I can play it whenever I want.
Unless he's hosting, then I wouldn't take the chance.
Yeah. Hopefully, I have a happy host space in the morning. That'd be nice.
Hopefully, you'll be celebrating. Come on. Is there?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'll be so being happy, hosting, celebrating. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Is there only 2 days, or is there a third day?
Nope, it's all gonna be over
Okay,
today,
cool.
no matter what.
Very good. And Steve, I heard you ask about blind level times. A lot of times they do 30 minutes the first day, and then on day 2, they move it to 40 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, I've done plenty of WSOP over the past 20 years, but I've never done, the side tourney stuff. And I'm kind of finding myself a little more drawn to it. I'm just not sure which one I want to do yet.
Right. And a lot of people, like I do it myself. I'll play a couple of WSOP events, and then I'll go over to the ARIA play event, or over to South Point, or the Win, or Golden Nugget, or, just depends on the tournaments, though,
Juan, I think that's fantastic. I've just got home, so I've just seen in the chat at the bottom. Yeah, good fun. Well done.
The NAPT is right
Maybe
around the
if
corner.
maybe if I cash enough today, I'll just hop right into the 1600 win main event. Maybe.
Or maybe you should save
No,
your
that'd
money
be
for another
crazy.
day.
No, I would. That'd be crazy. I couldn't just buy into a 1600. That's too much. So.
I don't know, man. That's how sun runs happen.
Oh, okay. Now Steve convinced me.
Dude, I didn't convince you. The universe did.
Sherry, I do believe in the
Well,
universe.
I said you should save your money for the another day first. So there's your universe.
Well, that's true. I also believe in God, so I want to go with Sherry.
Rome was not built in a day.
I'm just legit laughing because, the first step is the W in the current event. And then I don't think Sherry's choice is going to win out after that.
realistically, if I win like 6K, then I probably would take a shot at that 1600. But yeah, I would need to win like yeah. And what's crazy too is I'm kind of a little disappointed. Like ninth place is 3400. Like I really thought the final table would be more than 3.4K. Like I'm a little sad right now. Like I really got to get top three for this shit to matter.
What is first place?
Sarah, I'm
First
gonna have to
place
go.
is
Can't hear you.
third. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. First place is 36.2. Second place is 23.5. Third place is 18.6. Fourth place is 14.6. Fifth place is 11.7. And then 88, 66, 49, 34.
Oh, so just over 1,000 more than what I thought it would be.
Yeah, you were right, Sherry. I thought after yesterday being so big, I thought for sure it would be at least 40, but you were right. You're a
Oh, I
genius.
don't
I'm
know
never
about
gonna
all
doubt
that,
you ever again.
but I'm just talking out loud. I mean, I'm not looking for any praise. I'm just like thinking through it, dude. Just thinking
Well, I
through it.
will say I will never doubt
Well,
you ever again when it comes to poker
look,
stuff. Poker tournament first place
I need
guesses.
you to hold me accountable always, my friend, and it's okay. What percentage?
All right,
Hey,
I'm
what percentage rake are
wait,
they
what?
taking, Wolf?
$400 buy-in. Prize pool goes 335. So I mean that's what over 25. It's like 27.5% or something probably.
Golly, they got to do better.
Yeah, like fuck. At least make it an even 50 like, or something. Yeah.
Hate that.
All right. Well, I got to get into the boring stuff for the day, but it has been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into some music later. Steve, have a good day,
You guys,
bro.
good luck, man. Bye, Sherry.
Bye,
Thank you.
Steve. Thanks.
You can have Hex just you two by yourself for a while.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Some Sherry Hex time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Share Topian.
Don't get rumors started, please. Hex is just an acquaintance, people.
Well, not even a friend.
Bye, darling.
Wow.
Not until I meet him in real life. We haven't. No.
Oh, true.
Right now, he's just a troll on the internet.
I don't think I've
True.
ever been more offended, Wolfie.
What? I didn't say anything. All he said was share Topian. Anyway,
Bye.
later.
Bye. Good luck, Wolfie.
Good luck, darling.
How amazing would that be if he made it to the top three, then takes that shit down? Like, honestly, how fun would that be? Love it.
I
You get everybody dropped off, Donna?
I've got to go to work.
Yeah, I'm home now.
All right, good. All right, Hex, have a good day at work. Stay safe.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Did you guys go for a walk, Donna?
No,
No, not today. Okay.
no. Didn't feel like it.
That's all right. No
Just,
problem.
just wanted a chill day today.
No problem. Did you pick up dinner or are you going to make dinner?
I'm not hungry. He's had a McDonald's, so I'm not bothered.
Hope you didn't get him the quarter pounder. There seems to be E. coli associated with the quarter pounders.
No, he has chicken. He has chicken nuggets.
Oh, my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do like their chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting a ride in a new car this weekend. I'm getting taken out.
Good. Excellent. I hope it's somewhere new or somewhere you enjoy.
I don't know, but mm, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Good. We love interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yep, and I got to fiddle with up controls.
Well, you don't have to get so personal. I don't think we want all of those gory details.
No, no, they've got lots of controls in the car and they don't know how to work it, so I fiddle with them and I find out how they work.
Oh, gotcha. You're talking about the car. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I
Yes, I'm
thought it,
talking about the car.
I thought we were talking new code for you know what.
No. No, it's fiddling with the car and find out what it does.
Very good.
I wonder if they'll let me drive it too. That's going to be interesting because we'll be arguing. I want to drive it.
I don't know. They may have seen your videos of driving and taken the point of view like I have. There's no way in hell you're driving me anywhere.
Well, they're not on X and they'll never come on a space.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Just make sure your insurance is paid up so the kids will be taken care of.
Don't worry, I'm fine.
I know you are. I know you are.
They'll take very good care of me like they always do.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what did you get the dates from Rick?
No, I've not spoke to him yet.
Okay. All right. I was trying to remember that the other day and I was like, I thought it was closer to Thanksgiving, but like right before Thanksgiving maybe, but I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just curious.
No, I'll reach out to him next
Sure.
couple of days.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for an awesome space, as
Well, that
always.
was fun. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining me. I know
It's
you
no
were busy
time.
this morning and you thought you were not going to be, so
Yeah. I just came home this morning. I overlaid for school, so like I was stressed out. Got migraines all day. I won't go until 1. And I went, I'm not driving today. I'm not doing anything because tomorrow's going to be a stressful day. So I just need time away, and this weekend I'm going to get it.
good. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. Katie has a problem with mice. So it'll be interesting to see what how she handles it.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, she's got to nip that in the bud or they're going to multiply like crazy.
Oh God, I know. I know. Yeah.
Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us. Good luck today. I know you're on the felt today, and hopefully we'll get to chat this weekend, my friend. I appreciate you.
Yeah, good luck, Michael. Yes, so my boy saw he's got a boy racer car.
Nice.
That's why he wants to fucking drive it. He knows I'm a fucker. He doesn't know.
well,
He knows I'm a fucker. He'll never let me drive it.
I mean, I said that to you, and I had never seen you drive until a week ago. And I told you way before that you were never going to drive with me in the car. So this is actually someone that knows you too. So
Yeah, they've known me for quite a while. And I used to drag race them at fucking lights, which is even funnier.
oh my god.
So, like, we used to fucking sit at lights side by side when you were allowed to. And, like, he used to look at me and I used to look at him and I was just go, fuck off. And just used to boot it.
My brother was a big drag racer with us in the car.
Yeah.
at lights. Oh my God, he used to make me nuts. He was a daredevil, God rest his soul.
Oh
He
no.
actually got my mom's station wagon on two wheels going around a corner twice, two
Yeah.
separate occasions. I was like, oh my God, get me out of this vehicle. Lunatic. And he thought it was funny and entertaining. He would have been a good race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
He loved that. Can't believe today's Thursday. Where's this week gone?
Oh my God! I've just got a message from Maxine, and Tyler says, "Good job you didn't go for a walk around the lake. I'm not allowed to go without him."
Oh God. Oh,
Yeah, because with Tyler having ADHD and that, and he's a bit autistic and stuff, me and Tyler get on so well, and he's not like that with everybody. And for him to say that is very, very meaningful
right,
because he doesn't give eye contact, he doesn't show his emotions.
right,
But for him to say that's just made my heart melt because that for Tyler is letting his emotion out. So yeah, touched by that. But yeah, we got up to all sorts. We had his mum being there.
aw,
But like I know I can swear at Tyler and so he swears at me. It's fine. That's just how comfortable we are with one another.
well, yeah, you've known him for a long time.
Yeah. We're only 14 years. And James and Tyler grew up together. They've gone through all the same school together all their life.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They get along well,
Yeah, they get along. They don't actually talk at school because they've got different friend groups,
right?
but they're still friends. They still talk
Sure,
when they
of
see one
course,
another.
of course, of course. Love it,
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the 13th, which is the Steelers match against I forgot who it's against. But Kirk's coming back. He's the captain of the other team, Bruges, I think.
Right?
He used to play for the Steelers, so it's going to be interesting.
How fun!
Mm-hmm.
I sent you a DM.
Okay.
How fun! I think it would be funny though if you guys were not sitting in the same section. Oh,
Oh, we're in the same section, but the other one has decided he wants to come. So Caitlin got an extra 4 tickets, so he's coming. And Tyler and Lou and another one.
okay,
So, yeah. But I'm not sitting with them because I'm sat bang it back at penalty box, so that's it.
nice. You guys will
Mm-hmm.
have a blast.
Yeah.
And for those that are listening, I say that because the kids are embarrassed about how the mothers are handling their screaming and yelling in the stands.
Oh, we're going to go eat orange and white and like Dow 25 on his heads.
You are
And we're
too
going to
funny.
and we're having Steelers jerseys on, and James has just gone, oh, fuck, and banged his head on door.
Prepare yourself, James.
What's up, idea?
He just gone, oh, fuck no, and banged his head against wall.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Or he could sit with Tyler and Lou and other one could come and sit near me. We'll work it out anyway when time comes. Mom was going to the fucking consider thing. We're fucking. He's just phoning Caitlin now.
He's gonna tell her what you said.
Yeah, we're gonna go with orange and white stripes on his face, and I'm gonna have Dowd 75 on my forehead, which is captain at Steelers. Basically, I'm just prepared to be embarrassed at Steelers game.
I love it. How fun. Love it. Love your getting out
Well,
with
why
them.
not? Why
Hell
not?
yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Hell yes. All right, my friends. I think I'm going to end this space. I got some stuff I need to do, as they say.
Of course you do.
Appreciate you, Donna. Appreciate our listeners. I see Michael and Hayden are in here and some other listeners. Appreciate you as well. I hope everybody has a good day. Donna, love you, girl.
Love you too, my darling, and I appreciate you too.
Thank you, ma'am. If you're on the felt today, good luck, people. If not, get out and touch that grass.
Or go climb boulders.
Go climb boulders.